Couldn't get that done. Everybody else all right? Two to be alive. Isn't that right? Considering all things, isn't that right? I mean, just life in general. I mean, so many uncertainties. So certainly when you consider just, just the daily things you worry about, heart attacks, strokes, and other stuff, and everything else that's going on, they add to it with more complications. I knew they were going to take that tape and going to continue to just keep playing it over and over and over and over and over. If you ain't going nowhere with it at this point, it's time to just move on. If you ain't going to make no changes. I say this, and I know people are angered, on both sides. Law enforcement, they'll feel like, no doubt, those guys been thrown under the bus and left out of there, but it's the problem you got with so many rogue units. I found I guess a TikTok, somebody sent me out a TikTok showing where she used to be the former police. I don't know, was a chief down here in 2012, from 96 to 2012, and she was kind of caught up, if it be true, she was caught up in some situations down here where she covered up a detective, some sergeant, I guess, had, what was it, he was supposed to be involved with some child pornography, I think, child rape, and she covered that up and lost her job, and they wound up giving it back to her. I mean, just being honest with you, I think we had to get out of everybody covering up for everybody wrong. Black people, she black, she covered for wrong people, she wrong, she need to be fired. She shouldn't be in nobody's police department. Again, never want to insult the people that go out and do their job every day correctly, white, black, Hispanic. It's people that do their job every day without fail, and they'll never get the recognition. The only time they'll get recognition is now. They'll be associated with every bad cop. They'll be associated with every bad situation. Like every time when a person of color does something bad, they'll associate them with us, which will make us have to stand to defend our right to say, don't categorize me with one or two individuals. The police have that same right. Don't categorize me with 4 or 5 riding back. We know it's more than that, but I'm just saying, if you do the numbers of how many of them that actually do their job, they just say, I'd have never stood for it. And I know everybody looking at the officers that didn't do anything. Those officers did practically probably what a lot of people would have done. I ain't gonna have nothing to do with it. I ain't in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just get back. That's your stuff. It's unfortunate that that's your job. I'm just thinking, you there, you looking at all the police, you just looking at, I ain't getting involved with that. I ain't putting no hands on. I'm just standing back out the way. Unfortunately, they put themselves in a criminal situation. And that's happened on many times. Now it's I think they say also fired 2 more sheriff deputies that pulled up, who stood there. They didn't do anything good. The healthcare workers. I don't know what made them sit there and just watch a man struggling, falling over, crying. He can't sit up. He's not conscious. He's not. You definitely can see he lost his, equilibrium. He keep falling out. Why you watched it for 20 minutes? That's scary. These healthcare professionals. So you got to ask yourself, I want to investigate how many people have died under your, because this can't be your first time. Because the first thing to do is check, pulse, it can have blood pressure, anything. Ask them, it's questions you want off the rip. Do you have any health problems? Because this could associate to it. It's just, they just stand there and just watch them. Like, okay, what we gonna do? It could probably be for fear of the police too. Honestly, you don't never know. There's so many other circumstances with so many other moving parts with so much stuff. That's the scary part. And everybody from this end can look and say what the other officers should have done. Let's just think about it. If those guys were that off the chain and crazy, what you think they did to you if you tried to run your mouth and stop them? I'm just being honest now. Let's be practical. I ain't justifying them sitting there. But you saw how those guys was, and they ain't their first time, they done snatched up other people. What do you think when it happened? They say, hey, man, it's wrong, man. I'm going to have to report it. We fired guys with a pension. We fired guys with a home. We fired guys with car notes. You know what I'm saying? We fired guys with responsibility. We fired guys don't want to go to jail. Now, how you think they're going to go when you try to report it? It could easily wind up with this being your life right here, and we could say the suspect shot you. When we were wrestling, trying to get him, he pulled a gun, a revolver, and shot you. It's just scary. I think every police department need to be revamped, honestly. I know it would be hard. Go through them one at a time. You got a lot of good people that's never ranking and moving up because the bad ones all stick together. Then you got the nepotism where somebody bring in their nephews or somebody friend's son, and that hurt a lot of police departments. Believe it or not, it's a small town mostly. But, that hurt a lot of stuff, and it brings in, it covers a lot of corruption. And there needs to be an overview of come in and look over these police departments, and they need to be corrected. That ain't going to make me want to stay in America, I'm just saying for the people going to stay here, I feel for y'all. And if I could offer that suggestion to you guys that will stay and be permanent citizens of this place, I would suggest to you that you would try to look into, maybe if that can happen. I was listening to them today on the news. They were talking about how they need to be implemented. They were talking about implementing more bills to come in and, legislate and more bills. And I told my wife today, I said, we don't need no more bills. I said, bills go with debt load. I said, that's economics 101. Anytime when you add more bills with your paycheck, what do you get? Yeah, you get more debt. And it's less you can do. We don't need no more bills. You need to just come in. You need to abolish the whole top. Just abolish the whole top. You need a new president. You need a new Congress. You need a new Senate. You need people that come in for people. Right. I'm saying it need to compose of every race. It don't need to be no one. No one race need to be in there. No one. You need to divide the numbers up where you can keep it where nobody get the old, nobody can get the oval. Whatever the whole number is, it need to be divided up equally, so that way nobody ever get a number. When you run, it's got to be you running for that Asian seat. You running for that Hispanic seat. You running for that white seat, that black seat. We don't need no one all color. Nobody else in no more. Nobody. No all black. Just don't need it. Just stop it. It's just too much. If you're gonna set up a system that's gonna involve every race, then every race need to have a fair, equal part. Now I don't frankly care if you do it or not. 'Cause I ain't planning on staying. As soon as I get opportunity, I'm trying to lead the play. That's about y'all live stream. If it buffer, that's on you. I've had it. You can't beat the system. It don't make sense. So I don't want to do a whole bunch of complaints. I just offer this suggestion for those of you that are dedicated and you really believe in the system here. You keep trying and you do it. But if you're going to do it in order to be fair, America composed of too many different ethnicities to have one race to say, I'll rent everybody and I'll take care, make sure everybody's fairly taken care of. That makes absolutely no sense. Because you don't understand the culture of people. America is not sensitive to other people's culture. America is sensitive to their own culture. Like their police violence, they don't see the need for the United Nations to come and put troops on the ground. When we see it in other countries like Hades, we want now international involvement to come in. When you see it in the Congo, international involvement need to come in. When it's America, when it's Europe, we got it. That can't be done anymore. And especially when it's done to other people. And that's the problem you have. You're going to continue to have the problem no matter how much marching, protesting that people are going to try to do. It just makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it's basically it's futile. At some point, people, and I applaud the people of Memphis that they didn't tap. See, they tried to put them, they didn't ride. They didn't do it. See, they wanted it. But they pushed them to do it so they could try to show them as ignorant and stupid. See, you don't realize they were going to fall right into what these white folk were waiting on to say. See, look at them. They're animals. They just tear up. And if they had torn up, why would they tear up? Right. Why? Let's ask why would they have torn up? They did it in L.A. They did it in New York. I know that's stupid. Why are they doing it in L.A. and New York? Because it's the same system. Yep. See, this is an illness that we have in the police department that stems down from the upper levels. It's the upper echelon people that had to be removed. It's too many old heads. They don't think, younger people kind of think a little different. Like when I grew up, when I got to high school, I went to high school more Caucasian. Elementary, no. I grew up Kirkwood Elementary. I don't remember any white kids when I was in elementary. First starting out, came to the DeKalb County schools. I don't really remember any. Might have been, I don't remember. If it was, I don't remember. But high school, we got them. They got out of there. But the second year, they were gone. We had like 3, 4 whites left. And we didn't realize they had left us. They left. They were gone. Their parents snatched them out. They saw the school going too black. Get them out. But that's the issue. I mean, that's the choice, of course. You can get mad, but that's people's choice. I ain't got no problem with that. So a lot of younger people are growing up with other different ethnicities. Now, it's nothing to go to school and you have Spaniards, Chinese, Haitian, Hispanic in your class. So now you growing up now in a culture where this is common. So when I run up and I arrest or have an involvement with a Hispanic person, I know how to treat them because I've grown up and gone to school with them. When you haven't grown up with them, I don't know how to treat you. To me, you're a foreigner, you're an alien, you're an invader. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a right to be here. Because what we heard, that's what they told us about them. You hear the conversation of anybody of color that'll tell you about anchor babies, speaking with Hispanic, Mexican, sewer swimmer, whatever they call them, wetbacks. This ain't something we came up with. We got it from them. Illegals. That's not our conversation. What we know about illegals? So this is something we picked up from them in conversation, and then we started spewing out our mouth as though we had real information about it. The places that they actually coming back into are places they inhabited before the white face came. It's amazing you can take somebody else's property and name it Texas, and everybody that come back to it who was there before you and they owned it, they are invaders and illegals, and they need to be prosecuted, and a wall need to be put up. This is what you do. You leave your house tomorrow. I'm going to come to your house, I'm going to put a wall up, and I'm going to put some security, put some police down, and call them Border Patrol. And when you try to come back to your house, I'm going to have you arrested and taken back for trying to break illegally into their house. That's basically all they've done. And when people learn that history, you start to view people differently. These people in there, you took this from us. We inhabited Texas before you came here. It wasn't Texas. This was Mexico. But today, our people are not as conscious. They don't teach you but so much in education, so you don't really know a whole lot other than what they teach you. See, all this doctrine that they give you in school is the same stuff that spew out that create the hate. You just don't know it. School, it creates hate because it's ignorance. It's ignorance because you see people, you don't really know the in-depth story about people. All you know is what you hear from the news stories, what other people spew out of their mouth. Just like saying with, what's her name, Barack Obama's wife. How many of y'all have heard about her penis? How many of y'all have seen her penis? How did you hear about it? I'm just saying, how did y'all hear about it? I'm just curious. Y'all tell me, how did you hear about her penis? Social media. Who? One guy. One guy told all us about her penis. Hold on. How many of y'all know Serena Williams? How many of y'all heard about her penis? Her being a man. Who told you that? That same guy. He said the same guy. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I know he's here. That same guy. That's true. He said that same guy. Yeah. But some of us heard. But I'm just saying, you can see where news media creates a lot of the hate and divide between races and people. And at this point, to me, if you're going to continue to be here, there has to be real change, and real change involved with, they have to be willing to sit down and say, listen, let's just stop, strip it, and let's just start over right here together. It won't be I don't think if that would happen, it wouldn't be something like right now, let's just abolish every police force. I think that's a dumb decision. You can't do that. You have lawlessness. You can't leave man to himself to govern himself. I just think you have to start at the top, and you have to start implementing, going through each police force one at a time, and start looking at people with character. You won't get everybody out, but you'll be able to see, and they'll see be more strict. And it has to be things, accountability. There has to be accountability when you're doing it. You're putting on cameras, and you know this year, and everybody ran Trump down. I'm not a big Trump fan. I just think he's ignorant in conversation. I like some of the things he was kind of willing to do, and I never agree, I think, with everything all of them do. But the fact is, they don't talk about it. You had more black deaths under Joe Biden than you had under Trump, and that's with his police reform. See, those are numbers they don't want to talk about either. And the problem isn't, I think the problem is not the police killing more than it's just the politics. It's just the way we all view each other. See, if you don't view another human being as a human being, then you don't care how you treat them. That's just being honest. We got to stop the ignorance. It's ignorance. It's ignorance for blacks to kill blacks. It's ignorance for whites to kill whites. It's ignorance for Chinese people to kill Chinese people. It's ignorant. And it's ignorant when we cross the border at each other. If a person is not an immediate threat to you, your safety, or your possessions, it actually makes no sense to kill them. Actually, I don't know. What other reasons you had to kill them? I just don't like them. Don't like them and keep your hands off of them. I mean, this is life. You're not going to agree on every situation, but you don't have the right to enforce your way of life. I mean, with me, I'm Yehudi. I'm Yehudi, 100% through. Y'all got me? I believe everything that he says about our way of life. I don't believe I had a right to go and force that on nobody. I just don't believe that. I don't believe it. Because it's a choice. He didn't force it on me. I made a choice. So if I picked it by choice, what right do I have to force it on you? How do you do that? Were you at gunpoint drugged in here to join? Were you made and threatened at your life? So how can you start saying, we need to pass a law, everybody got to obey this or they die? That doesn't make sense, not if you had a choice. You had a choice. See, at one time, because everybody feels like their way is right, okay? I don't believe that Christians are every Christian serving Christianity, they believe they're wrong and they know that. I don't believe that. I think that's ignorance on our part for believing that. I believe that there are people in there that sit down honestly thinking and believing that it's right, and that's why they're there. There are people that are there it's people that are just there to just be there because they just want to be somewhere. It ain't because they believe it's right. I just want to be somewhere. So now, because of that, everybody kind of get a bad light. A Christian priest does something wrong. It's unfortunate. It's wrong. When I'm saying unfortunate, I don't agree with Catholicism whatsoever. But at that point, what happens to every priest? News story shows Catholic priests molested 100 boys over 20 years. What's our analysis from that? All of them do it. It ain't just him. And that's by the fair saying all niggas steal. So what do we do when somebody that said they're Yehudi commits rape? So that means every one of us does it. See, that's what I'm saying. We've been ignorant a long time. And our ignorance hurt us because you'll blame a whole race or a whole religion or a whole culture of people based off of a few bad people. That's just it. We just got to get more intelligent. I think that come in with being more sympathetic to the point of considering ourselves. How many of y'all in here like raping kids, babies, raping adults, murdering old people? How many of y'all like killing other different races? So let me get this straight. We the only people in this room. So let's go with that. From everybody outside this room are murderers and child rapers and killers. That's right. They're not. And we got to get that out of our minds. We do have to be conscious. I believe with television, movies, social media, they create this phenomenon. I grew up in the 70s coming up. We never had school shootings. How all of a sudden this new technology come out to shoot up schools? I mean, and it's like it's a mass drive. Where does it come from? I got a problem with a student. Then it doesn't even be a problem to have with maybe one individual student. But at least, and if it is, I need to lock the school down with chains. I didn't have all their military-style weaponry, and I got to record myself, and I'm coming in, and I'm just gunning everybody down. Where did this come from? Then you watch these people that show up going to court. They just looking like nothing wrong, just looking like really basically I'm like, why I'm here. They just looking like they just numb to it. I just can't see that. At some point, something's clicking here unless these people are being created by a system. I think the system creates all these people. Yeah, and then it creates the hate. Because once you see a little young white kid go in and they shoot up a school, what's your analysis? White kids shoot up and kill people. Black kids do it too. But you show what you want to show because you need a hate for them. Then you'll show us in a bad light to make them hate us. So when we all meet each other, we naturally already have something systematically set up against one another. So now a person, an individual, doesn't get a fair shot. So we have to start looking at how do we do things to where we're fair. And I don't think it's something that's hard to do. I mean, we ain't gonna never get people to do everything we want them to do, but we should at least have enough dignity and respect for one another to sit down and try to understand each other, respect each other enough to say, let's leave each other alone. Let's just know we just need to break. It's just like two boxers. They get to fight. When they get on the rope, they ain't getting nowhere, or they keep tying up. The referee come break. Because y'all ain't getting nowhere. What they do, y'all just keep tying up. Y'all ain't getting nowhere. Break. Just break. Because you ain't getting nowhere. Just break. Just break. And at some point, we'll look at all the white, the Hispanics, the black. Every time another ethnic group comes, all we do is get tangled up with each other. The Haitians came in Miami. They got a bad rep in Miami. Every Haitian you meet is Zopound now. Okay. If you meet 5 or 6 Haitian guys, the man gonna come, they Zopound, they in the game. Especially if you in Miami. If you see a white man, a group of white guys, and they all got their hair cut off, and it could be because they're cancer patient, what you gonna say? Skinhead. See what I'm saying? That's gonna be it. So you got if you see 5 or 6 black guys, and they got on black shirts and black pants, some Black Panther group, some military black hate group. So we all got this bad kind of mindset about each other. And I think it has created the fact that now we're in this situation where the only probable solution is separation. That's the only probable solution, because if you're not going to fix it, you got to separate. What do we tell a husband and wife? You constantly keep fighting, bickering. We're going to tell them after they keep killing each other every year, if they both of them kill each other, they got 30 killings apiece. When do we say y'all need to break up? Y'all need What about when they had a husband and wife, they done choked each other 600 times in a year? I'm talking about pad choked out. What do we say? No, try to work it out. Protest. Try to talk and try to work it out. Do non-violent demonstration. It's not working. You got to tell them you got to separate. You can see you guys are toxic together. And it's amazing we can see that with couples and individuals, but we don't see that with the system. No, let's create another debt load. Let's get another bill. Those are debts. Economic 101. You can never prosper with bills. Do y'all know that economically? Go look and you keep looking at all your bills and see where your money going. The bills are not correct. Bills don't change people's hearts. See, that even stems to what we're doing when it comes down to the debar. The reason why you look at how the law was implemented, law was given, the law don't make me a hobby. It tells me, but it can't make me do nothing. Okay, I can not lust because that's the law. For as far as you can see, that don't mean it ain't in my heart. I cannot take nothing from you. That don't mean it in my heart I want what you got. See, all you have is just written statutes that can do absolutely nothing until a man or a woman actually takes on the mindset to know that their life is predicated on it. Just like the laws they keep giving police. Why y'all think it's no, how many times we heard police reform? We implement police reform. We're going to get citizens involved. We're going to get these, we're going to get an outside group to come. That don't change people's hearts. Until you can change people's hearts, and that's going to change with people actually getting to know what other people's struggles are, what other people deal. Like you deal with people that come up from Mexico. They got a bad stigma about them. They stink, they're nasty, they're going to tear up a neighborhood. Culturally, how they grow up and how they do things. They don't have trash people that come through and pick up trash. Right. People they just put the trash out. It's just out here. So they've grown up in a culture where things happen. So then you have to teach them coming in and to show them in this culture how we do things, this is how we keep things. They leave them and they set them here so they know it's gonna devise a hate. Because if they move next to you and you keep your yard cut, you got your stuff, and you see them just putting refrigerator, stove, trash laying out here, you're gonna be like, what these filthy Mexicans doing? When you don't understand culturally where they come from, this is how we do things. In Mexico, they don't have funeral homes, I don't think, on a major, maybe in every city that come pick up. From my understanding, I had a guy told me he went to his wife's, her grandmother died in Mexico. He said they brought the body, so they set the body right there in the living room. He said, man, I couldn't even hardly sleep that night. He said, and they bury him right there in the yard. So for us, somebody bring you a dead body to your house, and you got to tell you, hey, this is yours, do what you got to do with it. You're like, I don't know what to do with that. Customary for what we do. The hospital gets it, the hospital declares them dead, do they study, it goes to the mortuary get it set up, you get a cemetery plot, then you have a funeral set up, get the food, bring your greedy nigga family, bring your lovely family, and then y'all, your lovely family come together, y'all sit down, you eat, you bury, and you tell lies. You know what you say? We need to get them bigger and more. How many of y'all done told that lie at them funeral? You see it do that, and you leave, you know what you realize? You say, I don't want to see that nigga no more. I see my family. How many of y'all done that? Let's repent now. I want to repent. I repent for lying to my family. Because some of them you don't want to see no more. You say, it's so good seeing you. You know what? We need to see each other more. Then you leave, you be like, I ain't calling that nigga. Leave that number on my phone. It is, I don't know. Justin, do white people do that? Yeah. Hey, you ever went to a funeral and seen some of your family before and said, man, it's good to see you. But you haven't been to none of your funerals since you're an adult, though, have you?
Not since I've been adult, no.
I've seen mine. You could black, we be mourning, you be crying, you sing. We be lying. No, you ain't got your, call me and keep going. What's your number? Call me and keep moving like no. I know I got, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I know at least 3 cousins I want to see. Now unless I got some boxing gloves. I'm going to knock them niggas. I'm still mad about my car got stolen. But it's some folk I don't want to see. I know they're going to borrow something. They told me, he chained him. I said, he ain't chained. They kept talking about, yeah, he had called me borrow some money. I said, I know that nigga ain't chained. I said, I'm not interested. Because there's some folk, they come to family you just to shake you down. Y'all got ready like that? It is scary. You think about it. Is it one of y'all niggas in air? You know who need to have a family reunion? All the niggas in your family that borrow money, let them sit there and just break each other. You know what I'm saying? They run up on each other, borrow something. Y'all thieving niggas. No, you ain't paying back nothing. And then folks be like, I ain't even gonna worry about it, dog. I'm like, I'm gonna worry about it, because that means you're gonna call the F for some more. So whenever I find out I really want to borrow some money, get some money, I just lose your number. I just gonna put you on, but I don't want to talk to you. I don't, because I know when they find out they can get it, you done. But I got an aunt, but I mess around and helped her, but you gonna mess around, never trouble. You can't do that stuff. Her kid look like hit Tony. Yeah, hit Tony. Like, no, don't hit Tony. That's your problem. You finna go on block now. You should have never put that stuff with me. See, they know you have a soft spot for them aunts and all like that. Yeah, my soft spot get hard, and I find there's children around that can do it, and you trying to stick it on me. So it don't bother me one bit. I can cut it. I don't never have to see you again. I want them people. Listen, I want them people. If you screw up with me, I can cut you off. I don't never have to talk to you again. They be trying to figure it out. I said, don't try to figure it. I can just do it. I won't think twice about it. I just don't want to see you. A borrowing, thieving nigga? No, I don't want to see you no more. But I just put that out. I hope that some of them listen to borrowing, thieving nigga, and he'll get the message. You know what I'm saying? That's the hope of it anyway. But anyway, we want to look at the bar and look at where we falling short at. At the end of the day, when you look at all the catastrophe, disaster we got here, we all play a part of it. Every one of us play a part of it. And it's to our benefit to get an understanding and try to get some resolve with you. You have people like, when you go to, I don't know, y'all have to raise your hand. I'm sure some of y'all have seen some therapists or sought some counseling. Some of them probably don't like therapy. They call them counselors, therapists, psychiatrists. You know what I'm saying? A couple of y'all probably been in a mental institution 5 or 6 times. But that's not funny, that's serious. Mental institute, some of y'all probably been, y'all do like that right quick, man. Do like that. Okay, I seen who I need to say. I need to say. I know it's your first time. Cause I seen them do it like that. I said, yeah, they knew that jacket felt like, but nah, I'm just messing with it. But, with that, people will try to go and get resolved with things that happen in their life and in their past. And we'll do that like when it comes out like sometimes you have people like they don't have a good relationship with their parents. And they'll say they'll go and get counseling to try to get the parent to understand what they did to kind of inflict that. And the child the child who's now an adult will try to get some resolve with forgiving them and trying to understand at the time when they did the things, where they were in intelligence. Because a lot of times what people don't realize with parents, you get one shot to get it right. Kids don't let you get 2. Some kids are bad because if they feel like they get one little scar, I ain't talking about no molesting nothing like that, but they get a scar, some kids will never forgive you. And sometimes them not forgiving you is them actually trying to put the blame of the failure themselves on you. Oh yeah, as parents, people don't realize parents, you'll make mistakes because it's not your intention, but you only get one shot to do it. And of course, anybody can come back and second guess you as a parent when you got your kids to mature, your kids can, because they don't know what you had to go through. They don't know you were dealing with bills, your income, where you at. I didn't get to go. I didn't never have. I would have liked to swap places with you, and you could have saw what I went through and what I had to go. You talking about what you didn't get to have 4 or 5 times. I didn't get to have any of the time because it was all about you. It is. A lot of times kids don't. It's kids that grow up, they hate their parents. Feel like the parents should have did more, parents could have gave more, parents could. You're a parent, you make a decision. Everything almost like it's almost on the fly. When you make a decision, that's where you are. You making them right now. And you don't get to always sit down and add up all the consequences of everything a child gonna deal with later in life. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you're gonna make mistakes as a parent. You make mistakes. We all make mistakes as parents. You can go back and look at things you could have corrected, you done better. So you try to pass that information down to your kids later in life. And you say, things that I looked at I could have done or should have done, how about considering this or incorporating this into your child rearing? And in saying that, that's the opportunity we get when we hear the word. We get to go through now without mistakes, based off of watching other people's mistakes. Can you imagine every mistake that I made, I had the opportunity to tell my kids, if I see them do something similar to it, say, let me suggest something to you. Try looking at this to try to keep you from getting in a situation where later something occurs somehow. I'm just using it. I don't have to do that right now, but I would if I saw it. But these are the things that happen for us when we look at the writings. Remember, he always referred to them as the fathers. So guess what we get to do? We get to look at all the mistakes they made. And now we get to go through with no mistakes. based off of looking at what was the consequence, or what was the outcome when they made the mistakes. See, I don't think we actually see that. Some things in life we can't go back and we can't correct, but there are things moving forward we don't have to do. Y'all got what I'm saying? If you made mistakes and those mistakes got you to this point that you here, or you watching, you doing, it's because those mistakes impact you enough, you never forget them. Periodically, over time, they come back and resonate in your mind, and you realize, wow, that was something in my mind I forgot about, I put away. Your past always come back up. People don't realize that's kind of one of the driven things that has helped to keep me from making critical mistakes. It's because I still look at things I've done in my past. If I could have gotten rid of them, I would have avoided them. But then again, it comes down to the conclusion of, would I still have been here? No doubt I'd have saw myself too perfect. I'd have saw myself a person not needing it. It's not that serious for me because I'm not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Not like a guy done all this stuff, but it's because I did so much is why I'm here. Y'all got it? That's why I tell you, and I ask y'all up here, why are you here? Why are you here? Because, it's something, I mean, you come in, you just love the Lord, you cry, and you start serving. But it really gives you an opportunity once you get past that little basic thing that people kind of put in their mindset, and which is really nothing, but it gets you here. Until you can grow and get strength and start realizing, now you want to start going through taking inventory of your life. Especially if you keep maturing as you're getting older. You start looking at, if you're getting older, you're getting less time in here and you're closer to out of here. You got less time you're going to be here, you're closer to leaving here. So now it's really looking at, I need to look at how serious the situation is and making sure I have as much information that I can possibly have so I can evolve into the creature that he desires. You got what I'm saying? I'm giving you opportunity to shape yourself to what they're looking for. You got what I'm saying? What he's looking for, he's left it and it's descriptive. And for you not to meet the measure and leave him to say, I'm just hoping I'll be saved, it's really for you to be stupid. Will make absolutely no sense. He's left it descriptive. There's no reason for nobody to say, I just wonder if I'm what he's looking for. What did he tell you he was looking for? He said, why would I say that? That makes no sense when all the information was left here to tell us exactly what the man wants. There's no reason for a man or a woman not to achieve that status other than self. Self is the only thing. Don't put it on nobody else. If that happened there, I could do if Cam leave me alone, you know what I had to do? Stop giving place to Cam. The book tells you don't give place to Satan. You got to give room to. You got to give availability to for people. Yeah, they say, well, they just come mess with me. You still got to avail yourself to it. You got to learn how to. I said, do what? Stay focused. You got a plan. You can't. Don't you know when you create a plan, that doesn't mean it's other things, there are other dynamics outside. That's why you create the plan, because there are other outside things that will happen to come and alter it. So if you had a plan, go back and look at the plan. But when you don't have one and you're just doing everything on a whim, it's easy to get you off because you don't really have a plan. Think about it. How things get you off? Because be honest, you don't really have a concrete plan. So when I ask y'all that, I really want you to ask yourself. I really want you to look in yourself. I really want you to be sure for yourself. Why are you here? And if you know what, are you getting what you came to get? Are you really open to the reason, open to really looking at changing who you are? Because that's what it actually happens. You really have to give up who you are. That's hard, ain't it? Who else you been all this time? Even if you created, that's it, yeah, come in the wrong door all the time. That's a good way to do it. Yeah. But he all right. So now, these are the things that we want to really do. We want to be a better person, and that comes in with changing the person we are. And the way you change the person you are is through information. I think that is the most powerful way to do it. I never thought about that before. Information. Because the more you know about a situation, the more conscious you are of it, the more you're able to deal with it. I can't deal with something I don't know. I just can't deal with it because I don't know. A lot of people say, you know what, I just can't deal with you no more. Why? Because I don't know how. If I know, then guess what I can do? I can deal with it. So now that's what we try to do, like even with our readings, when we pull up and we see something, if I see a word, I'm conscious to know. I know what I feel like the word might say, but sometimes he'll put them in. Once you look at what it says, even if it's English, then look at the other way so you have an idea of What I actually meant, you think about this, critical. When we've heard Berea covenant, we all heard he say made a covenant with Abraham. What was I thinking about that? Agreement. But by what? And how exactly? And yet you saw last night he came and gave us simplicity by just looking at a couple of things. By looking at a couple of things that Abraham did. When he made the Berea, he told him to take this. I want you to take a lamb, and I want you to take this, and I want you to take this, a bakar, this one, and I want you to put them one against another, and I want you to take, and the bird, the dove, I want you to divide it. Put them one against the other one, all facing toward. He said, this is the Berea I'm going to make you. And the whole time we never understood and knew what he made in Yahushua coming actually showed us what he actually did for him. That night, you don't believe it, what happened at Layla? And what you think happened to Yahushua? He's up on the tube. He told you from the 6th to the 9th hour, he said, well, daughter upon a hole of rocks. That was a deep, you don't think he had a horror he was setting up down? That man psyched out because of the horror he's seen. But it came in to give some people some completion. That's what we wanted, completion. People don't realize that football, when you get out, it was told me that every player is actually designed to score. But you got to be practical. So you're trying to get yards. You look at that as completions, am I correct? I completed I'm trying to get, if I can't do that, I'm trying to walk the field at least 10 yards. I need to get me 10 to give me another opportunity to get my attempts to get me back down the field, to get me to. If I can't get it in one, I'll just try to look at getting completion, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get completed yards right now. Because we've been losing. If you look at, we've been losing ground. Because our internal fights, our ability to not to deal with reality, not to be accepted or conscious of other people have hurt us. That's why our plight is not recognized by other people. Because when it's being told by the news media, like niggas just tear up every time something happens. We don't want to build. We don't want to keep them, we protect. Those 5 bad officers, they won't tell you about the other 100 good black officers that do their job. Those 5 black officers will be the representation for every black officer. When any black officer pull over somebody, if it's in Memphis, a lot of these things are going to say, you probably with that jump out gang, that robbery gang. And now you put somebody in a situation like, I'm just doing my job. I know what your job is. What, killing a black man for whitey. So now you create a confrontation. See, that's why we got to start looking at, let's start identifying the people that we find as poison pills around us. Let's just oust you altogether. That's the only way to do it. Anybody, if there's somebody among us that, let's announce them and put them out. Let's get rid of them. Because you're a poison pill. You'll cause them more problems. You're not going to help us. Yahushua told, he said, he that is not with me. What did he say? No, you're against him. He said, and if you don't gather with me, you scattered abroad. Ain't no two ways. You said, well, I might not be happy, but I ain't against. He said, you against me. See, that's what they don't want to hear that. We tell them they don't come out and support us. We trying to tell them all the time, you against us. Because the more people we can get out there and of other ethnicities, the more they can see. So it's people that's of other colors that agree that we treat you wrong. So when you come out, who you think they're saying the only one got a problem? Guess when you got a problem? When you wrong and you finna go to jail. So you don't realize how consciously this is how you get your criticism from them. Because other races, it ain't all of them, enough of them don't come out to support. And at the same time, we need to come out and validate them too in their cause. Those people that's called illegals that come into America, that's what they were when they came on here in them ships from Britain. Now, where was the Border Patrol then? Now, the people that let them in and set them up housing and fed them are all almost extinct. See, we're not conscious of one another. There needs to be a control, but let's do it without so much hypocrisy. Y'all got what I'm saying? Let's stop being hypocrites about everything. And I think that come in with people. Man has to sit down and be truthful with himself. Man has to really sit down and start looking at, are you really good? And every person really not good with themselves. I know they're not, because I wasn't. You're good with yourself to a degree, but if you really search yourself out, you're not happy with yourself, and that's a problem. But you can be. Because everything that you find about yourself you don't like, you have the ability and the option to change. That's it. What you do if you holding a baby. Baby throw up all over your shirt you at home. What you do? No, you walk out of the house and you say, that's just what it is. What you do? You change clothes. Why would I keep the stain? The stain shows up, it smells, It's an appearance. People are going to see it, so I'm going to change it. Won't you do the same thing with your life? It smells. It's a stain on your life. Why won't you change it? Hello? Okay, I guess I bored y'all then. Well, we tried. I figured we talked about it. Maybe we can see what we can fix and do better. Well, we can look at change. But anyway, we'll let the they got book talking. They ain't put y'all on for that, did they? They don't play. What you say? He said, "Don't I say that nasty attitude?" How many of y'all agree Dwight have a nasty attitude? Dave ain't right. Let's try it again. How many of y'all agree Dwight got a nasty attitude? I was just Dave looking around like, I don't know, I want to get involved with that. Maybe I can come out that type. Just do you remember the first time you learned that Dwight had a nasty attitude? Your first encounter, if you could think. Do you remember what the encounter was?
I'm not going to discuss that.
That's up. I've been one time. Yeah. It's be the threat of your life. When you mess with Dwight, it could be your life. He don't mean to. He just like that. Did people used to pick on you before him? No, ain't talking about him. Don't use that. No. Nobody picked on you when you got him. When somebody picked on you Dwight when you got him? Who? Where we picked? I can't. Dwight. We picked on you, Dwight. They definitely can't believe Yoshi. Is Yoshi him? See him? I mean, Yoshi know the truth. When we picked on you, Dwight? They ain't nobody picked on that man, is it? And he ate my cheese steak. Oh, that hypocrite. I just thought about that. I sat there, man, they was in Philadelphia. Yeah, how many of y'all heard about Philadelphia got the best cheesesteak? So I said, you know what? I'm going to get one. I said, Dwight, bring me back a cheesesteak. I want that famous cheesesteak. That man came out here. That man went, he'll pull up the gas station, pull up the hood, and rip a hose off. Right? He'll call, yeah, preacher, my car broke down. I said, okay. I'm like, yeah, you still want that cheesesteak? I said, yeah. I still want a cheesesteak. Just get the car fixed. So they wait that be an hour or two, then finally got it fixed. Yeah, I'm back rolling. All right. You still want it? I'm like, yeah. He go down the street again, get somewhere, he pull up another gas station. He'll go let all the air out his tire. Yeah, preacher, I got a flat tire. I'm coming out, I got to get it fixed. Gonna be a while. You still want that cheesesteak? I said, yeah, I want a cheesesteak. Get the tire fixed. So he did that about 5 or 6 times. Then, about 3 days, 2 days. I just want cheese. He done some. Yeah, that thing was old. I knew you wasn't gonna want it, but he ate it. And he ate it the last day. He ate it when he was pulling up in the driveway. That's the bad part. It been different. He'd have ate it when we were broke down. Don't eat it in the driveway. I sure wanted to try. Has anybody had a Philly cheesesteak? Are they really good at that thing? But they don't use no different meat. They use steak of meat, right? It's who?
They say it's the bread they use.
The bread they use. They use steak of meat. Now, real better way to do it now. They make them big. I know Ed. No, Ed. Look at Ed. Ed say make them like the Ed. Them folks be out of business, Ed. Nobody can make no cheesesteak. That big, a cheesesteak. How many of y'all had one? Look at Lancaster. Hold on for a minute. Lancaster that big. Why is yours like this, Lancaster? It was slide. So y'all tell me they cheesesteak that big. Who all had one of them?
Not that big. It's like a regular size bowl.
Regular size.
I have a question.
Yeah, she got a question. Finish.
Have I had a Philly cheesesteak or have I had a Philly cheesesteak from Philadelphia? Because they're made.
They'll tell you. If it ain't
How many of y'all didn't understand the question? She said, let me ask you a question. Was it, have I had a cheesesteak or have I had a cheesesteak from Philadelphia? What did y'all think the question was? Philadelphia. Yeah, I know. We don't have cheese. No. Philadelphia. Yeah, she was American daddy. Yeah, them Chinese folk, they'll fool you with it. They put too much green pepper. I can't do green pepper. Yeah, them things give me gas. They bag me up or something. I don't know what's wrong with them. Now, I'm going to tell you who got a good one here and move on. Now, they used to. I don't know because I've been changed, but I can go back now. It ain't no sin now either. Gut buster. What? What are you saying? I had the chicken and the steak mixed together. Oh, listen, gut buster. I'm tell you something. When you get through with it, you ain't though. You just feel like a nice full rank center. You just lay that thing. That thing eats so good. Oh, them listen, gut but Ed, get it out your mind. I can see Ed. Ed over there sweating for that thing. Where that wrong? Where is that? You really gonna know. But listen, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what they're done. I stopped by that one time. I got some breakfast now. Last year, sometime I had to stop by there. That place be packed. I'm thinking that cheesesteak still might be. Has anybody been over there and ate that cheesesteak lately? He ain't there. Chris, let me ask something, Chris. Some people in here know why I got who know why I got a problem with this? Did we know Chris doesn't have a cheesesteak? Chris, when you told us you had a cheesesteak, Chris?
Sir?
Yeah, exactly. Chris, you ain't told us you better had no cheesesteak?
About a year ago.
Oh, a year ago. I thought it like he been on that last week or something. They ain't the same no more. They got different locations. Who got the best cheesesteak around here right now? Yeah, I know you don't know. No. I'm not going to eat no hamburger with somebody who talking about a shirt. No. Who? Ribs? Williams? Where's Williams? Hold on for a minute. Oh no! Oh, that's that love. That's that. It's a building outside. You walk into. They're serious. I know about them. I know about them now. I know about them. Listen, she knows what she's talking about. Yeah. I know. I was like, no, I didn't know the name. Listen, it's a wonder. You go up to it outside. They're right there going to sit at Stone Mountain. They serious now. They serious. Y'all hear me? They got like 5 gallons of milk sitting in one. I said, what they for? They said, we serious. They said, we real serious up here. Y'all hear me? They serious with it now. Gut busting, who? Williams. W-E-E. Y-U-M. All these arbitrary words I put up, I ain't never seen you run like that. That boy runs so fast. I brought him definition. He's slow right out. Who ain't got it yet? Gavin, I ain't got it yet. That jugger wrote that so fast. William. I had to be a record how fast he wrote that down. But you know what? No, I might ride by and just peek in on him, just look on. I can't do the bread like that no more. But I might go by and check. I know Ivan. Know Ivan? Look at Ivan. Who got? You been to Williams? You know about Williams over there? Who got the best Philly cheesesteak? Gut buster. When last time you been over there? Been a few years. There's a lot of few years before still standing on that thing, ain't that right? I know my year been longer than y'all year. Y'all remember we to go to hit that thing up? That chicken and steak mix, boy, that thing not showing. Did you get the chicken steak mix? I can't do that. I got to put that chicken on now. I got to have it. Anybody want to just look in the window, just go out and just look at it? I mean, if I eat it, I ain't going to like it. I probably just, you know what I'm saying? It'd be for the sake of them that stand by. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, I need it. Now, give me a minute, Robert. All right, listen. All right, let's get our foundation set. Listen.
For what things soever nikatab.
So whatever was written.
Nikatab for our lamed.
It was written for our learning, for our teaching, for
through
our
endurance.
showing, for our... That gut busting on spill back up. That man, Chris, I'm trying to get through and get a gut bust. He's trying to get the Williams. I know where he want to go. He's trying to get the Williams. But I mean, again, it's good for us to establish a base. We talked about that. The base is important. This is truthful. I really want us to get to the status that he actually wants us to be at. That's really important. We don't want to just kind of keep going and just kind of playing through motions of things. People do that in relationships. I've been in relationships before, and I basically just went through the motions. You can do that. I shacked up. At least 4 times, probably about 4 times. And I think about, because you know what, it got comfortable, And you know, I was there, but I never really looked at why I was there. I looked at, then it became being dependent. I was a drug dealer, so I can use they. Now I was drug. You don't put stuff in your name, you're a drug dealer. So I used them and put stuff in their name. So now the relationship became, I was there. You know, the sex come in. But when you really think about it, sex doesn't make you the way you obligate you have to stay with somebody when you're in the streets. It became, okay, they became a source I could hide things or put things there. So you keep people for that reason. And you realize you can lose a lot of yourself because you're in something you don't really know why you're there. Then you made a dependency out of it. And now you're just kind of wasting years with things. A lot of times people get in relationships, they don't really examine why they're in them or why they actually kind of, you know, you'd be surprised. People just in relationship. You're just there. Your grandparents have done it 60 years. Because people just look at, because the longer you stay, it's like a job. They're like, hey, man, people will quit, go. And you say, you still here? They're like, you know, might well I've been here this long. And then you're like, you could have went somewhere else. You could have made more. You could have retired before now. You could. But people can be comfortable with things even when it's really not advantageous for them. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It don't really advantages for them. It doesn't actually put them anywhere further. It's just they accept me. I don't have to worry about getting fired. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of stay here. I'm the person where, or the type of person where I look at, I don't want to just be doing something just because, you know, I ain't got to worry about getting fired or something. I'm just there. Even with this, if the doctrine doesn't really fit the need of what I'm trying to do or trying to obtain, I ain't going to do it. Let's just be honest, I'm not going to do it. It's got to make sense for me. You know, before, you know, you come in and you do and you say you don't question, you just kind of do and you just follow. I mean, that's what slaves do. At the end of the day, I want to know why. And I appreciate the fact that Mr. Yahuwah leaves enough information that you can actually see why and how things actually make sense and play a part to what you're doing versus you just kind of in something. And I like the fact he give you an option. Even when it came down to Yahushua, who they called Joshua, when they crossed over Jordan, they were free. At that point, you know what he told them to do? I ain't going to make you do nothing. Because he realized all it's going to be is rigor. I'm going to constantly keep fighting with you, trying to convince you. He said, I don't have that time. You got to make a choice who you going to serve, who you going to buy, who you going to serve. He said, you can go back to what was on the other side. That's your option. He said, but for me now, in my bed, my house, we're going to buy Yahuwah. That's who we're going to serve. So that lets me know, and I appreciate the fact, although events happen in my life to trigger, to cause me to choose, it was still a choice. Because I got friends I grew up with, we were close to a lot of effects, a lot of things we did, from some robbing, other stuff we done. But when it came down to changing our ways to doing something like this, that's what, like they said, that's what the rubber hit the road. Yeah. It's amazing. It was, to me, it was kind of scary because we liked all the same stuff. Yeah. We weren't like, if we were going to buy some beer, it wasn't no, we were arguing about the beer. We drank the same beer. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get, I mean, everything was, this what we do. You know what I'm saying? The guy, this, you know what I'm saying? This what it was a club. We weren't finna argue about no club. Man, let's go to that club. We agreed, let's go here. But I just surely thought that a lot of the people I was with, when they heard, they would say, and you know what you realize? Your mind is only good with people in this the world. And that got me. I didn't realize now, like you look at people I look at who were best friends, but it's just like, it's like a dream to me. It's like that world never existed. Because I'm like, how did we have clothes in common, places in common, movies in common, all the stuff we had in common, but this about us living right and our soul, we were far from it. I mean, it was just no call, stop calling, don't. It's like, what happened? Why wouldn't you want to do better? And you realize people are only good with you when you don't challenge them. I'm telling you, people good with you don't challenge them. People don't want to be, that's why drunks saying, you'll never find a wino going around trying to find people that don't drink. Winos going to hang with winos. Because how a wino going to, what a wino, man, you drunk, you need to change your life and quit. We all drunk. So you don't tend to look at how a lot of things play a part in your life, and you have to start going back, looking at people and looking at, you need to start making commitments to yourself. Because the only people with you who doing things with you, it's all because you're doing what they like. That's it, being honest. That's the only reason. You got to look at people are not as authentic as you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? For me, I want to be real. I don't have the time to be that person. I don't want that life no more. I choose, and I claim the Yahudim. That's what I'm claiming. That's the set I'm claiming. I'm claiming Yehuda because this is the way he done said. Yehuda already got a standard in the way we supposed to do things. Now, whether you don't do it or not, you'll be judged for it. But at the end of the day, we got a practice that come along, and then you got an opportunity for people to be with people that can be what we call like-minded. Okay, well, let's see how this thing works. Let's see. So he told us now, whatever was written aforetime was written, katar, for our, to show us, to teach us, and instruct us. It's important that these three things have them to show me. It's one thing I can tell you to do something. Well, show me. I ain't got to show you nothing. I told you what to do. How much effect you going to get? What's the result you're going to get? Because the thing about Christianity, how much were you really shown? How much were you really shown as a Christian? You were told. And you said, man, he sure taught me. He was sure teaching. That man didn't teach you because he'd have taught you, he would have showed you. He'd have instructed you. See, all these things are important things that validate what he does. Because you take teacher, people just look at a teacher. You go, do you use the book? Do you use the board in your class? Do you have to sometimes get students and show them how to do something? That's teaching. You know what people think teaching is? Just get up and just start talking. Because they got to show you. And then you got to instruct them what you want them to do. I want you to get your book and turn to page so-and-so. I want you to read. I'm instructing you on what I want you to do. I'm going to write certain things down to show you what it is you need to do. And if you need, you come up and I can help you. That's teaching, correct? See, that's why a lot of people don't need to be in the field. I ain't signed up for all this. I just signed up to teach. Come and put something on the board. Teaching is that. You got to instruct. Listen, I come here to teach. I didn't come here to be trying to tell these kids what they need to do. You know how stupid you are when you made that comment and you're a teacher? That you didn't sign up to be in here telling these kids about what they need to do. You came in there to get them to work because nobody ever taught us. People listen, it's that easy that in a course, a conversation, we all use words in conversation and you really don't know what you said. It is, because a lot of things you think you know. What was your definition of teaching before we learned that it actually involved instructing as well? It actually involved showing. You know what my definition of teaching was? Teach. All there, teaching is teach. It's to teach. And what is that? Teaching. And what is teaching? Teach. So you start answering things you really don't know, and it hurts you on involved. Let me tell you something. I was a person afraid of words because then you got to spell them and other things. It's too much work. You got to go. Like years ago, before they got their computer, teacher tell you use. They say look it up. So I learned keep this thing real basic. I ain't had time to get no dictionary, run all the way through the D's, and then he said, how you spell it? Look it up. I said, let me get this straight. I don't know how to spell it. You want me to look it up? I never understood that practice. I said, how you spell it? They said, look it up. You saying, all right, through with that. Don't need to know that word. Because we ain't had no computer where you could start spelling and something pick up. You get a dictionary. And you start flipping through and looking. And, man, you'll be going through for days. And then you got to look and write down and look. It was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep my conversation very basic. So I won't have to look up nothing. And it was just too much work. So it more or less drove you to keep you away from things in conversation. So now people start picking up conversational words through conversation or discussions with other people, and you still don't sometimes pay attention to what words actually mean. You know what I'm saying? And now we start looking at what we call, quote unquote, the word of life, which is the bar kai, you know, for us. So for kai, it's how important is it for us to know and understand? It's just like with medication. A lot of people will skip medication because you know why? They don't realize how important it is. You get a lot of people, you see, take a blood pressure pill. I mean, I take them when I need it, when I feel, so you don't understand the importance of why you need to take them. Because the reason why you need to take them on a daily basis, because you're trying to regulate. When you take them, like, take one today, take one Tuesday, take one Friday, you don't understand it's not regulating. Because it has to be a consistency. You got what I'm saying? Even with the shot, diabetes, you'll get people to have a diabetic coma. You know what you'll find a lot of times? They'll eat things that'll counteract the medication, or they're not taking the medication properly. You say, well, you take your medication. They say, well, I take it. So you heard what I'm asking, but you're trying to be clever in your answering. Trying to say, I take it. How consistently do you take it? Again, because you're trying to regulate. That's the purpose when they give you. Let me say that now. They're actually trying to kill you on that. I'm just using it for example now. But the purpose is regulating. That's why you take it on a consistent basis. Well, that's the same thing you do with the word. If I only come and get it every now and then I'm not regulating my behavior. So now when it comes to call something back under the discipline of the word, it can't do it. Think, my blood pressure, 225 over 195. I'm going to take my pill now, and then I'm going to take another pill next week. How am I going to get it under control? See, the first thing I do is get it under control. Once I get under control, we have to constantly keep regulating it. Got it? When you have a problem with fornication, adultery, have a problem with being kazam, lying, or any of these different things you got, don't you know we gotta first get it under control, and then we gotta regulate it? Okay. And you wonder why you slip up, why you mess up, because you're not regulating it. Y'all got all the things we understand in modern life when it comes down to those things, but why is it we don't understand it with the word? Why is it we don't understand it with the word, the purpose of why we get it? And the purpose of what we're trying to regulate the behavior. So we can keep what happens if you're on blood pressure, but you don't take them for a long period of time? What can happen? Stroke, die. A lot of things can happen to you. Kidney failure, all these different things that happen because now you put some in your system. And now because you started and you impute in your system, now your body looks for it to constantly be there. And when it doesn't get it, it counteracts by saying what? We'll stroke. We'll do these things. Guess what happens when you get the word in and you decide to go against it? You decide to not take it in regularly. Now it's going to fight against you. The same thing that you took in to help you now fights against you. I'm just saying, that's how it works. Hello? You don't know why you have so many things happen to you because the thing he gave you to counteract your behavior, you stop taking it to regulate you. That's why we have to sit back and become conscious, cognizant of the fact that why you're getting it, because you're trying to regulate the behavior. You can't keep yourself from doing things that's against Elohim without the word. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's only going to be, it's people say, well, you'll see people, man, one time I started drinking, man, it was like a year and a half. You don't believe why you started back. That's right. You ain't had nothing to regulate it. You can take your blood pressure and stop taking for a while. Your blood pressure can show normal. It can take it today, your blood pressure. You say it was good yesterday and keep things. You know what? It'll steadily be doing this. And by the time you go and catch it, it done shot up. You saying, man, that's crazy. I ain't taking my blood pressure for like 4 days, and man, that thing shot, because you stop regulating it. Now, if that can happen with blood pressure and a pill, what happens when you stop taking the word regularly? I mean, constantly being in your life. What do you think the purpose was you supposed to meditate? When we supposed to meditate? When you lay down and then when you walking, you supposed to. Get what you're doing? You regulating behavior. That's what you're trying to do, regulate. See, the thing that people don't get, they try to take things and try to make it so far fetched out to where it's not practical. You know what I'm saying? You know, I get up in the morning, I say, God, I'm here. And I'm not finna be yelling at this man and it be for that, you know, it's that stuff that it'll make you follow this foolishness and this rhetoric, and it just make a mess. You know what I'm saying? You just got a bunch of folks screaming out, God, where you know, you're like, this, first of all, who you talking to? So, but you know, you get this, it be people that they have this mindset that this gives them this power, this energy, then versus it's us constantly keeping a practice. That's all it is for us, constantly keeping a practice. Y'all got what I'm saying? That's how you can rate. All the things you feel, things coming up, things that will come up and counteract against the word, then we got to treat that. Y'all got what I'm saying? We got to treat it till we get a cure for it. We don't want to treat it. This is one thing that modern Western medicine does. If you got, let me borrow you for a second, hypothetically. Let me borrow you for a second. If you have high blood pressure, this is high blood pressure. I'm the physician. I'm going to treat it. Okay, treat it for you. What's going to happen? That's right, because you said I treated it. Why would he go somewhere? Did I treat you bad? Did I make you offend you, hurt you, anything? No. We got to do it to where it's an offense to make him go away. That's good. Let me show you something. When we look at in the 4th chapter of the book of Matthew, when it came down to Yahushua, when Satan came to tempt him, how did he treat? Did he treat him? No, he cured him. He made him where he went away. See, he learned how to counteract the disease, the ailment, the way it went away. Eventually it went away. He didn't treat himself. Well, this is Satan. I mean, I am hungry. But I mean, let's do something different. He said, man, you make this, turn into stone, make these stone bread. Make it look calm. And he'd have treated him the right way. He'd have kept standing there, he'd have stayed. You got to work how to counteract to get rid of. That's why if you look at Western medicine, it's not designed to cure. Because once you cure, then there's no need for the medicine. If I cure blood pressure, what am I going to do with all these medications I got in these stores? That's just, if I cure any of these diseases, cancer, no, what am I going to do with $50,000 treatment packages I got? Don't y'all know how much these treatment packages cost? The radiation, the medication, other stuff you're going to take, the operation, this is a $50,000, $150,000 package. You think I designed that to get rid of it? I'll tell you what I do. I treat it for you. And you don't realize in treating it, what are you doing? They tell you, I tell you, hey man, my wife love me, man. What happened? You know somebody might ask me, you ain't gonna believe it. Man, how you treat her? He said, man, I treat her rough. I mean, what you mean? How you treat her? How you tell? I mean, I yell loud. That's why she gone. I used to hit on her. That's another reason she gone. I wouldn't never about it. That's why she left. Treat your disease that way. Treat it where it leave you. That's why y'all think Satan laughing? He wasn't getting nowhere. And you don't realize all you do is you sit up and invite in. You got to learn how to exile, get it out. Y'all got it? All right, come on, let's look at this. Listen. Where you left off at?
That through endurance
going through without quitting.
And the nakum of the ketubim,
the comfort of the writings.
We might have tikva,
that we might have a strong. We might have a cord. We might have a connection. That's what our goal is. Let's look at something real quick. See if that 2 Corinthians, see if that's chapter 4. We did leave off of that last night, didn't we? Y'all remember that, Layla? We didn't finish it, did we? Oh, let's see something. Since we're down. Is it up, down? Oh, it's already up, down it. What we left off at? 2, 3. I don't know what that was. Down. But let's just look at it. How about that? Where we left off at?
2.
3?
No, we didn't.
2. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, that Chris?
No, I was about to say we didn't finish 2.
We didn't finish 2? Okay, come on. All right, listen.
But we renounce the hidden things of dishonesty, not halak
and we
and
talked about
craftiness.
that. We talked about that later, didn't we, Layla? We talked about the North Saphon. Talk about darkness. Talk about hidden things. That's what he said. We renounce. We quit. We resign. We gave them up. The hidden things of dishonesty. That's what they say sometimes. Sometimes, you know how some people look at quitting? I looked at it. People just try to tell you, what you do, don't just try to quit cold turkey. Just start cutting back. Y'all ever heard that? Y'all ever tried that practice? And all you're doing is you still treating it not to leave. Because you're giving your body just enough to where it don't put it like in one of those situations. What do they call when your body? Withdrawal. Hold on for a minute. You used to be an alcoholic, because you hollered that so loud. You was an alcoholic. That mean, y'all heard that? Withdrawals! Yeah, that will, because the body goes. So what you're doing, you're trying to teach the body not to go into withdrawals. But that's not always a good thing. People don't realize one of the things we look at with counteracting or fighting kataim, sin, is you have to kind of put yourself in a detoxification center. When Yahushua, let's look at something right quick before we go there. See if that's Oriah. See if it's 21. See if it's 40. Let's say that's what I want. I heard that. 2 more calls. We keep a call counting him now. I want to say that's what I want. Orion, 21. Let me see what I want. What I say, 42? It's 38 is what I want. Oh, that would go up then. Oh, they took out. They probably did that. They probably omitted. In the 41st, it used to be a 41, but I don't want to talk. We'll talk about that next week, the 41st verse. Let's see, back up about, not 21, not 21 then. 21, let me see, 34. Oh, no, go up, 32, just go back up a little bit. No. Oh, okay, yeah, come on, that's what I want. Yeah, 30, go up to 30. Let's see something. 21, 30. All right, listen.
When they now shoot forth their paree, they know that summer is nigh.
Why would you be talking about something like that? These are things, this thing they wouldn't know?
They would know.
They wouldn't know that. So these things are symbolism. See, all this stuff he said him, when he told her he put an ox in the arights, which was a sign, that's symbolism. All these things were similar, let you know time changing. So that's how we can determine. See, even if you don't pay attention to man, he told you amazingly, I see Anashim. How did he see him?
Ox.
As ox. So guess what? You can start looking at Anashim the same way. You can see a woman's stomach. You say, guess what? She getting ready to have a baby. Just like with a tree, you can see when someone starts, when the shoot starts from the early part, before the fruit come, you'll see the leaf, you'll see the little part stick out from it and let you know it's getting ready. And you'll see when it's there. He said he letting you know that time periods are changing. So there are things he left here that are clearly and evident for us to see, so you will be able to know, to take the appearance, to take knowledge of, so you know time's changing. Okay? It ain't time now to go. Someone said, man, I'm going to go buy me a winter coat. I wouldn't get it this late in the year. Time getting ready to change. I get something to hold me over. You know what I'm saying? You typically want to get you one right toward the end before fall come in, get your best deal. You feel like to set yourself up for winter. All right, let's go. 31.
So you also, when you shall see these things come to pass,
What happened?
now that the Malkuth of
Now or
Elohim, know that the Malkuth of
Hold on,
Elohim,
the cursor over him, so don't try to act like you thought this was now with that K back there.
apologize,
Go
I
ahead.
apologize.
That's what he told us. So he said, now when you see all these things, when you start to watch behavior, things that people do, he said, just know that the Malkuth of Elohim is at hand.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Aman, I say to you, this
Over
Tuledath
true.
shall not pass away,
To what?
all things be fulfilled.
That all these things be fulfilled. Listen.
Shamayim and Aratz shall pass away,
But what happened?
but my Dabarim shall not pass away.
Somebody had a lot of conversation. Now, what's going on now? Yeah, so he said to take heed to yourself. Hold on, come back down. Take heed to yourselves, lest perhaps your lobs be overcharged with. Now we look at surfeiting. Let's see what this is. Surfeiting. This is for people in California. They don't realize right there. This is why they know that California people can't be saved and people in Hawaii. See that? What do you think? All you time you sit down, man, I want to go surfing. I said, let the heart get overcharged. See, that's that doctrine you believe when you don't know what things say or what they mean, right? How many of y'all know what surfeiting is? Probably excess or something, but we'll look it up. I will know. Oh, see? An excessive amount of something. See that? That makes sense. Well, he told us in the 12th chapter, in the 12th chapter of the book of Abarim, he told us, let us lay aside every, what was it? Weight. See that? That's what happened. You'll get too much of something. An excessive amount of something. So he done told you that. Think about it. It makes sense. Think about this. When he sent them out to proclaim, well, they said proclaim something. He sent them out. What did he told them to do? Take nothing. Not even an extra coat. Because you look at it, think about it, if I got that coat I got here, how you gonna start treating the extra coat you keep walking around with? When you was a kid, they tell you keep up with your coat. You wind up, how many you drag it? Because it's a weight. It's in the way. I got too much. So if I had on, think about if I had on a coat and I had another coat, I'm subject to throw it away and lose it. You know what I'm saying? I have entirely too much. So all these things are something we want to consider. Like I said, years ago we were coming on. If I'd asked my pastor what surf it was, to surf it, he'd have told me what it say. I said, he said on let me. That's what he meant. They get that look. He told me. He said, he said, they asked you a question. He said, oh, my bishop. He said, well, Bishop, you tell him. So he said, Bishop, I asked you something. He said, it say right here and say, but he said, what it say? They said, well, it say right. He said, that's what it meant. They said, yeah, Bishop. He said, what did it say? They said, it said, he said, that's what it meant. Thank you, Bishop. Now sit down. Cause at that point you've been fighting. Now you look, and when the member look at you, the member look at you, you so stupid. Somehow arguing with Bishop. They would never, I'm telling you, it killed a lot of people. Cause now people sitting here like, why would you be asking that stupid question? And they know they don't know. Because now people want, I don't want to look stupid and say, that's interesting, because I was curious about that. But that fear is what they use to keep people from growing. Because it really hampers you. Versus, when that makes, so how many of y'all didn't know what surfing was? So if you didn't know what it was, what was your idea when he told you don't let your Lord be overcharged with it? So how you know you weren't doing it? How do you know if you weren't doing it if you didn't know what it meant? You see what I'm saying? And that's the part they gave us to make us kind of fear grunt. Then, because I know how they would be, because he used to be educated, the former pastor I had. And folks would try to fight older people that try to say about him on it. He was educated, but he was stupid too, because he followed the same practice they would follow. He let them dumb him down with a dunking degree. They said he's trying to teach dictionary. I'm telling you, them over there holler, we don't teach dictionary, we're supposed to be teaching Bible. And the stupid folk didn't realize the words you read are in a dictionary. And if you don't know what they mean, how you know you're not violating? Because people don't want to know. They just want to hear it. And whatever you say, like they said, he told me in the last day they were going to come with his scoffers. And he said one of them said them were scorpions. He said they had them in the church. He said, got them scorpions in here. So he had folk running. You really hurt people with that. And verse somebody said, and then you try to tell you to kill you. You know what I'm saying? To try to kill you out on the verse. It hurt people because they didn't know. That's what they thought, scoffers. He said, they got scorpions in there now. So they in here. I have folk looking at folk like it's one of them ain't grabbed it. I just see one crawl on the floor. But, and they can be innocent, but it's detrimental when you're looking at, you're trying to achieve a behavior that he put for requirement for salvation. Everybody be mindful of that, okay? We're trying to achieve a behavior and a status that he requires. And if you don't know what it is, how do you know you've achieved it? You know how many times we have people die saying, I just hope I'm right with him. I just want to be right with him. Let's ask the question, why aren't you right with him? Either you're not doing something or you don't know. That's the only two reasons to be hoping that you will be right, quote unquote. I'm not doing something I don't know. So how about let's make sure we're not doing something and let's make sure we know. That's the only way to get the performance. If you got a car and you're trying to get it to go faster what it is, there's some things you got to do to make it perform to that altitude, or get to that, whatever you're trying to achieve. You go in and you do some modification, you do some change, you do some additives to it in order to get the car to do it. You're loosening on weight. You start looking at what's on the vehicle that keeps it weighed down. If you're going to race a vehicle, some things you have to get rid of. Air conditioning. It takes away from a car if you're going to try to race. Am I correct, John? Because that's an extra. You know what you're saying? Man, it's hot. You trying to go faster or you trying to be cool? Guess what you have to do? You have to lay aside the weight. You got to get rid of it. You got to look at certain parts. It's too heavy. You got these fat rims. They weigh 700 pounds apiece. I assure you it's going to hold you back. You're going to look at a lighter rim. All these things are going to be important to you because you're looking at in performance. I'm trying to get more performance out of the vehicle. So I got to make some modifications. And that's the same thing we're trying to do with salvation. If you don't make the modification, then you can't get the performance. Hello? Okay. I just make sure we're on the same page. So now we know what surfeit is, right? All right, listen. So he told you, listen, and take heed to yourself, lest perhaps your logs be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. You could be drunk now without alcohol. Because all it is to have your faculties impaired. So think about this. I need you to do something, and this is the will of Elohim, and you don't do it. You know you're drunk. Because what kept you from doing it? Think about it. Police, y'all, have you ever administered the DUI test? Did it go kind of with touching the nose, doing things like that? Closing the eyes, head back, walking a straight line, saying your ABCs? Y'all didn't do ABC? They tell you about that doing the ABC. Had they got to that part yet? They hadn't got it, but some of that they'll give you because all these things are looking at your faculty, seeing how well you're in control of your faculty. Because you don't realize he's giving you commands. Close your eyes, you hold your. You're like, what? So you're looking at it's man. Hold, give me a minute. I can do it. Hold on, wait. They right typically, but because you're drunk, you can't. You're not in control. That's the same thing happen when he gives you an order for you to do something. You can't do it because you're drunk. Your faculty, all they tell you, your faculties have been impaired. Something keeps you from being able to do it, although you even though you're trying to do it. That's the same thing happen when you sit around saying, why I can't get it right? Why I keep messing up? Because you're drunk. Because you've been overcharged. With surfing, you have an access. You have some things you have to get. Did it make sense to y'all? Yes, you have an access. That's why he told you to lay aside every weight and which does so It ain't even a hard job. How hard is it to get you to commit kata when you already overcharged? You have an access. It's too easy. Y'all got what I'm saying? So now, what do? We go through and we want to read so we can learn what the criteria is. Just like certain things for a job. I remember when I had to come out and get a job. And I remember getting them applications, them for putting on them requirements. You look at that stuff, I just go and tear that thing, I'm going to walk off. I said, man, I ain't got this stuff. And I used to fool with it. I didn't have it. It's a waste of time. Because you start looking at criteria. You looking at back then. So when I started in the job market, you just had to look at the newspaper. One on the internet, you look at the newspaper, you start looking at them folks saying they require high school diploma, good. Then say a degree, all right, keep moving. Because you start, where I'm going to go? I know folks, I'm just going to go on and try it. They might let me in. That's the problem why people try, that's how, that hurt you, because that's how people trying to serve Yahuwah. Because he done told you to do something, and I remember this job one time, right? I applied for it, and it said, and then it said this, required. What that mean? No, you know what? But you know what? They might not check. And what you see the time wasted of trying to manipulate. And guess what? That triggered over to how you serve Yahuwah. Because everything he told you, you ain't going to believe it. Required. And get what you say. Can we see what required means? That ED versus just require. It makes a difference. Woo, 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 woo. But I thought I was in the 6th grade just now. 5th grade, I could spell anything. 6th grade, when I seen that W went up down, it's W-U-E-I-D-I-N-N now. There was a lot of letters going in there. There you go. All right, required. Officially, what that compulsory? Compulsory. Yeah. Or otherwise considered essential, indispensable. It's compulsory. Let me see this. Y'all see that? Indispensable. You can't get rid of that. You got to have it. So I think a lot of times, and it's dangerous that you go and you're going to apply for something that said required, and you feel like you can still get it, because then you feel it kind of translates over to how we serve today. He's required some things, but yet you'll sit around and you'll try to see if you can get in and manipulate anyone. Think about it. That's manipulative. If I told you what's required, why would you come and do that when I told you that? It's almost insulting. I told you the degree required, and you tell me, yeah, I'm supposed to be working on my GED. You say that now I'm really pissed, because I just sat here and put on him required. Why would you apply and you tell me that you're working on your GED? Yeah, it's like, so think about how Yahuwah had to feel when he tell us what's required, and we're gonna come in and say, I mean, all you can do is try. What, the worst thing they can say is no. You see how things hurt you somewhat in life? Because you keep thinking you can get back. This is how churches operate in synagogues. And you hear what the requirement, but you keep thinking you can possibly, it won't matter. Because once I get in there and show what I can do, this is the problem you got. He going to let you in the Malkuth to see what you can do. That mean, and just like they put in the job, I have no reason to do that. And if I did take you, you can't expect to pay. Well, why? Out here it said you pay. You saw what the requirement was. I would never pay that for you, because you don't even meet the requirements. So you think about this. You say Yahushua came, he died for you. It's a requirement for you to get that. Who can get that? Are we in agreement that he died for the whole world? Or are we in agreement he just died for the Yahudim? Which one? Whole alone. So the whole alone got it. They got to meet the requirements. Everybody gonna get it. Can you imagine? Listen, it's for the whole alone, the whole world. Yet there are certain things you have to meet in order for you to even be in the running for it. That's the thing we don't even consider. Yeah, it said Elohim saw Ahab the alarm. Love the word. That he gave his only begotten. That, let me see, that who? Everybody. Does what? How they know? Okay, that Amon. They said, well, I believe he gave his only son, so that's for me then, correct? See, if you read that, that would have sounded like, but it's not, because he go back to tell you that he that Amon on me, just like the Ketuvim have said. So is that the only writing I got to believe? hold on for a minute. How many of y'all went to church and they told you that you believe that Jesus is the Son of God? You believe that he died for your sin, wrote for your justification? That's all right then. You say you're a member of the church. And that's the only thing you got to believe. But that's how they got you in. That's why we going back and examining, because when you read and you look at before, it'll show you him coming into contact with people, and these people like they just got it right then. And you trying to figure, why it taking me so long? These people grew up. They grew up in a culture where there were things that they done, but there was a lot of knowledge that they had. And they just needed some corrective things. You see what I'm saying? You'll have some people that'll go, like I got some glasses. They're for reading. Some of y'all got glasses, you take them off, you're completely blind. Don't confuse me with you. I'm not saying it as an insult. No, I'm not really, I wasn't saying it as an insult. But let me say what happened. When I'm saying that, listen. I'm sorry, she said she insulted me. But let me tell y'all why I said that. And someone had like Leon, he has reading glasses. So let me say this. So you'll look and you might consider certain things to see because we have glasses, that it's the same. Some of us just need a little corrected. Some of y'all need surgery. Right? That's not insulting. I'm just saying some people need more than others when it comes down to doing something, just a small corrective in. Some people, it's major. Y'all got what I'm saying? It's bifocals. I'm talking about walk outside, sun shoot through their glasses, they burn a whole city down. You know what I'm saying? You think they Superman. They shoot the back of their glasses, they tell the Cyclops, that's what they think they with the X-Man. Instead of pull them up, they put them on. But I'm saying that, so when you look at the people that he encountered in the book, these aren't the same people as you. They're the same people as you, the fact that they're in error, but they're not the same people. Okay? Let's look at some. Let's go back. Look at the 10th chapter of the book of Matthew, 10:1. We'll go down to 10. Let's see something. Listen. Matthew 10:1. Listen.
And having Korah his 12 Talmudim together, he gave them power over unclean ruach to cast them out and to heal all manner of diseases and all manner of infirmities.
Stop. Parallel this. Okay? This is what he did. And having
Korah his 12 Talmudim together.
Okay? He called. All right? We have a book called He Called. Uyakra. Okay? Who did he call? He called the 12. Mm-hmm. Let's parallel this. Why would he tell you about Yakra in 12? Mm. He called them. Listen, hold on. Let's see what he did. Listen, he called them when? How did he call them? So when they came out Mizraim, what? One tribe came out, Matah, then another one came out the next week, then another. Mm-hmm. How did they come out Mizraim? Together. So look at the functionality of how this is working. He called them together. Listen what he did.
He gave them power over unclean ruach.
To do what?
To cast them out and to heal all manner of diseases.
All right, pay attention. So when he brought them out, when they went, you know what he had them to do later? He had them to exile other Goyim. They went to other nations and put them out. They had to have authority to do that. How you go to Canaan and put me out? He gave them authority to do it. These guys are only functioning based off of what was already done. Why did he put the other people out of the nations? Because he deemed them unclean. He deemed them, why do you think Yahshua was able to go and cast? He told them, go and cast these people out. I gave you the ability to cast them out. Y'all got to go. Now, now, he gave me that authority. If you don't, I'll throw you out of here by force. So when these guys went to these roots, they knew he's giving us the authority to call them out. You don't belong here. You're in violation being here. These people don't. Listen.
And all manner of infirmity.
Hold on. And to cast them out and to do what?
Heal all manner of diseases.
When he put them in Jerusalem, what did he give them? He gave them the ox with the leaves. What were they for? Yeah. Wow. So when they went out, you know what they were saying? Lordy G, Gardy Whiz. This all new to us. Never seen it here before. How the world we's gonna do that? I got to go to school, get me a medical bag. Get me some diabetic medicine, some blood pressure pills. They already know how to do this. They've seen this happen. This ain't nothing they've been told. They ain't never been told before. Yasharal was given this. That means I took that away from you. All I want you to do is go and validate to show the people that the same Elohim is still performing. In the 5th chapter, 17, he said, my Abba, and I'm still working. He don't know, I ain't stopped. I ain't stopped. I'm telling you, again, you're going to cast them out. Now we don't move from people. They look at, I'm coming into some people that been here saying, I don't care how long you've been here. You got to go. You got to go. Man, you don't be come effing me, man. I've been here. You got to go. Guess what? The struggles, the trials, the sicknesses you deal with, they got to go. That's right. 12 years, you got to go. They were bleeding 12 years, you got to go. 38 years, I've been letting it put, you got to go. You got to go. You can't stay here. He gave me authority to get you out of here. See, people were looking at just casting out people. He said, now I'm going to teach you how to cast out these infirmities. These are the same thing those people did. These people keep you from. That's what your ailments do. Your ignorance. It keep you from performing. Listen. And what kind of, and to heal all what?
Manner of diseases.
And all manner
of infirmities.
What's your confidence level like? Well, you the Michael Jackson, you the Michael Jordan this thing. How many of y'all gonna put on me tonight? Who checking me tonight? You know what I'm saying? He like, I'm gonna work you. Who checking me? How many people y'all gonna put on me? Because these people looking at this how it works. That's evident when you looking in, let me see something. See if that the 13th chapter book of Abarim they call Hebrews and about 7. Let's see how I read from him. Abarim they call Hebrews 13 and 7. Y'all can go back to sleep on them again? That's all right. You know another thing that'll keep you from getting where you're going? If you don't know where you're going. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. One thing that will really help, that will keep you from going where you need to be, is you don't know where you're going. And you know what happened with synagogues, churches, and mosques, and with non-denomination? We don't know where we're going. We don't know. Also, to the Hebrew Israelites, I appreciate the offer. They sent me some stuff. I appreciate it. I am going to use the case. I appreciate that. They sent me some DVDs. I will use the case. That's the truth. I will use the case. I will. I appreciate the case. I don't. For whatever reason, let me be clear with everybody. He ain't sent you, not to me. Don't believe it. I'm trying to. Let me tell y'all something. Okay. Let me help y'all out. Okay. He ain't sent you to me. I know he ain't sent you to me. Listen, he don't send. That don't mean he sent you in vain. Yahuwah said when the debauch went out of his mouth, he said he ain't going in vain. There are key critical things that you're going to put in stuff they're going to show me. He ain't sent you. Because he already know what I'm appealed to. Okay. In that 10th chapter and the 5th verse that he going to read, he told them not to go well. You know why? They don't know nothing. They don't have a problem with all this stuff you're talking about. They don't know nothing. You're going to be wasting time. I never sent you to them, okay? Because they're not. The people that you're going to go to, they know. He even told, hold on for that. What is that? But they gonna try to put on that. Who that day? Oh no, he gonna put on Buck. Buck just got all them awards. You been working with him all summer. That's what I'm talking about. See, let me show y'all something. All right, let me show you. All right, let's look at home. All right, listen, we'll get it. And other one, get ready to get me see if that see if it's 3 and 7 of your cars are called. Say that, man. Listen what he told you. Listen what he told you to do.
Zakar ye prelates.
The Zagardi.
your prelates who have spoken the Debar of Elohim to you.
Who's
Amunah follow
considering
the end of their conversation.
what's key to let you know who you're talking to? Tell me what you pick up, key. To let you know who he was talking about.
Who spoke the
Who he was
Debar
talking
to you?
Remember. How can you remember something you don't know? I'm going to somebody and come and say, can you remember what you're supposed to do? You say, no, I don't. Anybody never told me. So I wasn't sent to you then. The book is called Abarim. Why would I be trying to get somebody to convince them with it when that's not their culture? I just told you to remember. That's the car. Mark, that means you've already have knowledge of this. See, this is why we ineffective. You're trying to teach a GUI that this is not their doctrine, and you had to get them to a place set to understand, to go back to say, now I got where everything fits. This is why we get people that don't actually get the productivity they need to get. I just told you to remember. How you remember something you don't know? When I ask y'all a question, I say, whenever I ask y'all a question, what I say? What sense it make I'm asking y'all something y'all ain't never been told? Everybody gonna be sitting here saying, we ain't never been told that. I'm gonna say, y'all stupid or something? Y'all must be some retards. They said, we ain't never been taught. Y'all just stupid and dumb. How? We weren't told. We could be ignorant, mean we didn't have the information. Y'all got what I'm saying? He's telling them to remember. Okay? Listen.
Yahushua HaMashiach yesterday.
Who?
And
When?
Yahushua HaMashiach
When?
yesterday.
What happened?
And this Yom.
And what happened?
And the same Alam.
That's what they always consider. When he told them, remember, and that corresponds when he told, I'm Yahuwah. Why would I send somebody out with it? Because, listen, there's certain things you know. So, meaning when things come out and I send somebody to you, there are things that you're going to put and you're going to look at this in alliance with. You see what I'm saying? This is consistent with. 12, first, I sent out 24 guys. I sent out 19 guys. You saying the numbers kind of don't relate. It makes sense 12 because it is 12. It was 12 Goyim. So I'm kind of putting this thing together and I'm trying to look at where, and looking at these guys having authority to do and cast out. We had that before. So now I'm looking at he coming back. The people are the problem. Now, who's the problem? Before, when he gave them power to go and cast out people, who was the problem? Y'all retarded. I just had to test it. If they were going and casting out people, then people must have been the problem. So if I'm going to tell you to cast out evil spirit, that they call them, who the problem? Then the Ruach's the problem. Y'all got what I'm saying? But in order to get you to understand that, I did it with you dealing with people because sometimes people could be influencers. Just like you got styles and fashion based off of influences. So I need to guess what the people did? The people had them doing what? Doing other, when he told you this you should not do as you did what? Mizraim. Why he tell you should not do what the Ruach of error had you doing? Because you never would have understood a spirit having you doing wrong. You understood a people because they ruled over you, and because they did it, what they said, monkey see? Got that Jahid? Hey, see what I'm saying? So now I got you, then you realize this. When I separated you from them, guess what? Now you're not committing those behaviors. Right? So guess what you look at? Who was the problem? The people. People the problem. Now you've been away from the people, you ain't gonna believe it's him. I reverted back. And it ain't the people. Where the problem at? The reason why he had to show you that, because in the gun, when it came down to Ka'ur, what did she tell him happened? The serpent got her. What did Adam tell you? She gave me, who the problem? Who was? Tell him again. Why you do that? Why you do that? You know what I tell you twice, Kerry, you know it wrong. Come on, come on, big man. Come on, brother Jack called. Come on. My brother just told me, my brother said, if one more thing get around, he said, put a check up there. Nobody wasn't laughing when Ron Robert did that thing for real though, boy. We couldn't laugh till he was gone. Yeah, put two of them up there. And then Kerry do like this. I'm gonna fall the ground with stone. So you can see where in the gun, these people didn't look at the ruach that was in them. They looked at who? The Nakash. He was to blame. They looked at, Adam looked at she was to blame. Nobody sat back and did like Eunice said, false in me. That's right, because he told you when she saw. He might have said something, but the writing clearly told you what the error was. She saw. You know, we ain't learning later what the error was. Everybody said, if it wasn't for that old snake in the garden. That's not true, because the book says she saw it. That it was two, it was good to the eye, one to be one wide and to make one wide. Said then she took it. He didn't get it and shove it in her mouth. She took it and she ate. And when Adam ate, he told her she gave it to him. Now he said, Candy gave it to him. So it looked like Candy person. When the whole time, when we learn later on in the book of Olive Barnabas, that they'll call 1 Timothy 2 and 12, 13, he told you that the woman was deceived. What was that telling you? He wasn't deceived. He did his own. He was disobedient. The fact that he told you that the woman was deceived, he didn't tell you about the man. That told you enough about the man. I wanted to see you one time. That's what I wanted to do. So that's why it was important now to come along. Ain't no use to cast out other people. Like we're looking at getting rid of other people. He said, you got to get rid of what's inside of you operating like that. It's your operating system. But in order to get you to see it, I had to move influences around you that you use for your excuse. See, people only gave us a reason to make excuses. Yeah, people give us excuses. Now he break it down and said, what's your excuse? Like you got a kid. I can't learn. He keep talking. I be trying to, so I'm looking at it. You know what? I tell you what, move your desk. Go on, move your desk. I move my desk. They put me somewhere and realize, what's the problem? I can't use them no more. I don't move the desk. What's the problem now? It kids need stuff like that. A lot of kids keep making me act like, come home. Well, my friend would get slapped. Yo, care about what your friend was doing. It ain't your friend. You did what you want to do. How many of y'all you tell your parent you tell a lie but somebody made it do it? I sure tell you. If you getting hit for it, that's the worst thing come out your mouth. So he kept talking to me. Wow, I don't care what nobody. Think about it. I don't care what nobody else is doing. That's Yahuwah. I don't care what nobody else is doing. What were you told to do? Amazing. Did that not we hold our kids too? You don't care about what no other kid. The other kids were playing too. Yep, got to knock you unconscious. Well, now now you go buy them a toy. It's a different generation. Kids get a toy. They get a gift certificate. You know what I'm saying? They get Lifetime or Disney World. When we were coming along, man, they knock your lights out. You see that? So now we're starting to look at patterns that we have. And it made sense. So when he sent them out, because he's looking at, this your problem. It ain't other goyim, it's you. You the problem. So we're working on fixing that, okay? Back me up to verse 5. Well, no, I'm sorry. We'll go back to the 10th chapter. I'm sorry. Matthew 10. Okay, we read this. And having Korah the 12, Talmudim taught one. Look who he called. That they call. It's important for us to know that these are taught ones. I'm calling people that's been taught and calling them together. He gave them authority over. You trying to get, don't y'all know he give you the Ruach HaKodesh? That give you authority. So what's the key? What's the key? What's the key? He beat you. Got to be taught. Got to be taught. And that's part of your teaching. He said, no man can come unto me except the Abba which sent me drawing. Then I'll comb him up in the last last day. It's written in the Nabaim that they all. How you ask for the Ruach HaKodesh without teaching? Y'all don't know not Palau, I always say lump it up. When I ask for y'all don't never know, I always say lump it. Because how much sense they gonna make? Because with Christians, they just told them, Lord, Jesus, give me the Holy, I want the Holy Ghost. God save me, give me the Holy Ghost. Even that, there's teaching involved. That's what the fact he told they were Talmudim, they were taught. You think he just sent them out something? No, I taught them. And they were going to people that were teachable, that had been taught. So it will correspond. I can't start out with people ignorant. I got to go out with people with some intelligence. Then after these people reject, then I'll go to the other queen. So you got to understand how people were grafted in. Really see your blindness, your willingness not to conform to, that opened the door for other queens to come in. That's why the Hebrew Israelites know how to fight when they tell you it's black people, the chosen people, black people, the people going to save, all these different things they tell you. It's somewhat of a truth, but it's not all of them. Y'all got what I'm saying? Because of his oath and because how things were set, I've got to save some. And he said, by all means, I must say some. He said, I got to say some. But your ignorance actually fell and your blindness fell to where it allowed other goyim to come in. And he used that by telling you how a man had a wedding. And he invited some. Who you think he invited? Gentiles. He invited people that knew. Because one told him he had just taken a wife, and so that he could not come, which was the law. You couldn't charge a man with business in the first year of his marriage. These were all people that were taught, that had knowledge. Some had bought some land, and they must go and see it. Okay. I'm trying to see what y'all doing. So you got to look at these things that people were doing. These were people that knew. And he said they all made light of it. So by their knowledge of, they used it in trying to maneuver themselves out of conforming to something. That's why knowledge can be dangerous. Because they knew him enough to knew how to use things for excuse not to do things. So they learned how to take the Torah and use the Torah, manipulate their obligation to where I can't do. Now I want to come, but I just got a wire. You can't charge me with no business. I didn't charge you with no business. I told you to come to the feast. But you're to the muhar. But so now your knowledge can be dangerous. Even the book teacher that knowledge puffeth up. He said, but a heart edified. So we looking at this because don't think if I just get the knowledge, I'll be good. You need the knowledge with a heart. Why? Because you start looking at what a heart will do. It can bear some things. Where we saw that at? Yahushua, when he was on the tube. He could bear some things. Isn't that right? And when it came down to the bar, how much did I believe? It believed everything. That's the difference. That's how, see, we got to do examination of what we have. When you start looking at what a harp does, listen, it has Amanon, it has all the Amanon, all these different things that it have. These are things we're looking at to complete us. And what we'll have is bits and pieces, fragments. And that's what happens with information. You have fragmented information, it's hard to come up with a real solid conclusion. Because all your information is based off of fragmented stuff. So you start looking at having all the strength, all the heart, all the mind, all the mind, all these things put us till we can get to completion. So now we start going to look at where we have a lot of inaccuracies at. You know what I'm saying? To where we feel like we just go, have a good day, have a good feeling, and then when other things trigger and happen, we can kind of downsize it for not doing everything that's been committed to our trust and still think we get the same reward. When I tell y'all about what we read and what we do and what we've been taught, this got to be a lifestyle. This can't be something you turn on and off. This can't be something I'm different here, then I get back out. No, this is the way you have to live your life from this point on. Christianity with church, look, sir, after the Lord get his time. When the Shabbat gone, it's me. Me doesn't mean I'm a violator. That's the problem people got. Whoo, when the sun goes, I can get back to my thing. That's the problem. When the Shemats go down, I still want you to be about my business. I just gave you the time to where now you can get more to getting some other things done as well. But my business is always precedent over what you're doing. Versus, I got to get it in quick for the muhar, get all my stuff out the way. No, with completing some things I'm trying to do naturally, I still have to be mindful of making sure I'm still completing things I have to do ruagni. Because it's a lifestyle. Once it becomes to be understood as a lifestyle, this is not something that becomes more rigorous. It becomes hard pressed on because we're looking at get him on Shabbat, then after that, do me. And do me going to be sometime getting you over the things that's going to be error. Y'all got it? Makes sense? So it's always him. Don't learn to differentiate and realize that regardless of you stopping now, like he said, I said this for you to give you a break. Man, we rat racing out here. Some are burning at Bo County. If he didn't stop us and slow down, we'd have been dead. We'd have been dead. I know something about it. Think about it now. How many of y'all got stuff you need to do? And if you were doing it, you'd be so burnt. He said, I made this. He said, I actually made it for you. I was trying to slow you down before you kill yourself. He be like, kid just go. You said, slow down for her. Let they know they keep going. What happened? They hurt themselves. That's how you tell your kid, slow down now. Slow down before you hurt yourself. They just keep going, move back. Quit running. Quit running. What they do? Blah, blah. You said, I told you, quit running. Sit down somewhere. That's what Shabbat is. Sit down somewhere. Sit down, just sit down and rest. You keep. Man, we had somebody, I remember that. I said, dang it, lady. Boy, they be like, good, where you get all that energy from? Sit down somewhere. That's what he look at, you finna get into something. Folks look and say, you finna mess up. You remember you tell your kid, you see them doing something, you say, all right, you finna mess up. Kid in their mind, they don't see that till they still looking stupid like. But the thing what, then you tell them. Have you ever tell your girl, say, stop, you ever one of them before said, you gonna mess up? You ever did that? Just, yeah. You. Oh, no, any of y'all. I mean, any of y'all. If I ask, have you ever told your kid that? Say, you ever caught them, pre-warned them, like, you finna mess up now? You ever told them that? You finna mess, and what they wind up doing? That's because you know the behavior. Think about that. Any of y'all ever did that with your kids? Told you finna mess up, and they wind up doing it. Guess what this book is? You finna mess up. And your kid is just like we are. You don't see it. All right now, you finna mess up now. You gonna mess around, make me tear your behind up now. That kid thinking, they think I ain't gonna get no. I know what I'm doing, and then they mess up. They get that stupid, and then you come in. Let's start this stuff like what didn't happen? Like whoo, you crazy? Like crazy. I warned you before we got here. You see what I'm saying? Like I done ran up. Let's get him, cause you know he crazy. He just coming here wide open. Like, if you really knew that, you'd have never transgressed. And that's how we are because we don't consider. Okay, come on, verse 2. Oh, we ain't got to read this. 2, 3, come on, 4. Should go to 5. Listen.
These 12 Yahushua Shalak amar them, saying, go ye not into the Darak of the Goim,
and
into the city of Shamram enter ye not.
Yes.
But go ye rather to the lost sheep of the Beth of Yasharal.
That makes a difference. That makes a difference where they're going to. Based off the knowledge they had and what they were doing, that makes sense, but that's where them to go to. Let me tell you something, what people don't realize. It's a different ability when you're dealing with when you deal with a people that don't have knowledge versus a people that have knowledge. Where they were and customary from where they at, trying to teach a man or woman from early start, like just like you're educated, what grade? 4. You think you do preschool? What about what's the other one they got? You pay that money they had a little who? Head Start. No, it's an over forehead. What's the? Not daycare. Pre-K. So pre-K, but you're an educator. So look at what grade? 4th grade. They're at a certain level to where you could take them from now. See, if I get him pre-K, they said that should be easy for him. He already teach 4th grade. So pre-K, because now he has to go too far back. That's too elementary for him. So he looks at where I get you at, I can take you from here, and I can groom you for your next level. Well, that's where they was at. They wasn't at no level to take nobody on. So I don't know nothing. See, he said, I've been with you. I wouldn't be the person to help you. Hello? To prove that, let's see something. 2nd chapter, book of Galatians, 2 and 1. I know everybody, you have people out here trying to teach. It's not everybody's job. Because if you don't know how to catch a person from a certain level, you're talking about catch a person from no knowledge to a person with knowledge. That's a difference. It's a difference, and that's what people don't realize. Where he had these guys at, this is where their skill level at. I can work with people who know. He's like, I ain't got time to what? How I supposed to get? I ain't never heard that before. That new. He said, I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to have a problem. Because these guys grew up a certain type of way in culture. These are things already done. When Cock was up on top of that rooftop and he was hungry, they would let down a sheet knitted at the 4 corners. And what was inside? Everything unclean. And what did he tell when he told him to ride, slay, and eat? Not so, because I'm full. Because I'm finna get my dinner, finna come up, and I don't want to spoil my appetite. He said nothing common and unclean ain't never been in my system. I know the dietary law. So you see the level of where he at. Now he getting some people, this is what you eat, skunks and rodents. Now, I can't understand what you're doing. Because I've never done that before. The teaching had allowed me to have. So I'm going to look at you a little different. You say, yeah, I got a problem. I'm struggling with eating skunks. I couldn't even know what you were talking about. I couldn't deal with you at that point. Let's see something else. 2 and 1. Listen to this.
Then after 14 Shanim, I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, taking Titus also with me.
Barnabas.
And I went up according to the Kazun and communicated to them the tube news which I preach among the Goyim.
See that? Among the other nations. Listen.
But apart to them who seemed to be something, lest perhaps I should run or had run in vain.
You see that? He was going up to talk to some people that had it already. He said to make sure that he wasn't running and it was futile. It wasn't going to amount to nothing. Listen.
But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Goy, was compelled to be circumcised.
What they call him, a Goy? A Gentile, what they call him, a Goy? And you're going to look at why with him. His mother was a Yehudi. His daddy was Greek. So he looked at him. He said, then compel him to want to do it. Listen.
But because of false Akim unawares brought in, who came in privately to spy our liberty, which we have in Mashiach Yahushua.
See that? He said somebody was trying to watch what freedom was given to them in Yahushua. He said they were spying them out, trying to see what they were doing. Y'all remember, this is the early form of when these guys started. So people were trying to figure out these disciplines of what these guys doing. You got to figure these guys were coming putting a lot of stuff on plate of saying what couldn't, and you integrating people in. That's a difference. I mean, this is something that's different for a lot of these people. How do these people get in? When they came out with them, but these people never realized when they came out of Mizraim, they weren't all Yehudi. They were other Goyim then. And guess what? He never referred to them as other nations after that. He always referred to them as the Benin or Yasharal. So what he's doing now is not actually new. They just weren't actually conscious of it. So you could be doing things and not realize you're really not conscious of what you're doing. This actually is not a new practice of other people being among them and them being referred to as. When you talk about grafting in, it shouldn't have been that hard. When you came out, you should have noticed all these people are not Yehudi. These are other nations in here with you that came out. Listen.
That they might bring us into servitude.
See that? Come on.
To whom we yielded not by subjection, no, not for an hour.
Listen.
That the amat of the tube news might continue with you. Mm-hmm. But of them who seemed to be something, what they were sometime, it is nothing to me.
Listen.
Elohim accepteth not the person of Ish, for to me they that seem to be something adding nothing.
Listen.
But contrariwise, when they had seen that to me was committed the tube news of the circumcision, as the cuff was that of the circumcision.
Mm-hmm. Hold on a minute.
I think I read it wrong.
You think?
Yes, sir.
Uncircumcised.
Uncircumcision.
I had to turn around and say, shouldn't say that. So let's pay attention. Both of these 12, now they're shalachims that they call apostle. Shaul is a shalakim that they'll call an apostle. Now, amazingly, these guys are coming together after 14 years of him out here working. And he said, to make sure that I hadn't run in vain. I just want to go back up and look at what I'm doing to make sure I'm still meeting protocol. So there are some people that I look at as people that's holding this thing up, and I want them to hear what I'm doing so we can make sure that I'm in line with what I'm doing. Now, he's allowing them to, now he's telling them, this is what I'm teaching. Okay, the people on fire. This is what I'm teaching them, okay? And you talking about what you're teaching the people that's just like us, okay? And let's see what they did.
For he who wrought in cuff to the
circumcision,
shalak of the circumcision wrought in me also among the Goyim.
So the same one that sent cuff and the 11 out to making 12, I mean, he 12, 11 more. The same one that sent them out and that worked through them, he said the same one was working in me toward the people who he didn't send them to. So the ministry that I was given to serve people who were not of the lost, but these were people that I'm teaching and educating to come into this knowledge of. There are people that were Gentile that had the knowledge. We would have never regarded them. He's trying to get them to see what he's giving me is effective. And let's see what they told him. They should have told him to come in with them. Go ahead.
And when they had known the con that was given to me,
When they know what favor was given to him, what did they do? They said, this it, we're going to hook up. And we're just going to start working together right here. Go ahead.
Jacob and Cuff and Euchanan, who seemed to be pillars, gave to me Barnabas the right hand of fellowship,
And told them to do what?
that we should go unto the Goyim,
That you should go to the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal.
that we should go unto the Goyim,
And what they going to do?
and they unto the circumcision.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. That's where they was at. That's what their ability allowed them to do. I know people feel like people have a gift, you can do anything. Not necessarily. Because they should say, well, you just come on here and teach them. They're like, no, he gave you a ministry to go and teach them. He told us to go to the lost sheep. That's why we work and we function better. See, this is what happened. That's why white these folk run out here and folk trying to tell, oh, you be out here and witness these folk. You about to be a witness, you keep talking. See, a lot of times that's why people not affected, because they keep talking about, I know why I be going. That's your problem. You need to go where he tell you to go. See where you can be affected. I'm telling you, that's why people not affected. I don't pay these for it. Listen, when I tell y'all I know he don't send these people, it's a waste of time. He will never send to me because it's not going to work. Y'all got it? That stuff not working. I already know he not tell you. It's certain things I'm already alerted to. So for things to get me, he realized, where is this man at? How you going to reach me? You ain't even know where I'm at. It makes absolutely no sense. Y'all got to look at, listen, when it came down to with Shaul, people don't realize why he would be more affected there. First of all, they didn't even believe he was a Yehudi. The man had Roman citizenship. These guys were from Jerusalem. This is where Yasharal started out at. So he would be more effective saying that they already assumed that you were a Mizraim one time. They already, you don't talk, you are a Roman. He's a Roman citizen. Yahushua told him that he had to go and he was going to see Malachim. He had to go see Caesar. Why would Cuff, why would any of the 12 had to go see Caesar? He's a Roman ruler. They're from Jerusalem. Because they get too deep. They try to get too deep. Just leave the thing where it's at. Everybody don't have the same ability. This man here can work and he can multitask. He can work on either end. These guys work better right where they were at. And this is why a lot of times they be ineffective. They actually be ineffective. They kill more time. They'll think they know my job. It's impossible for them to know my job. They don't even have it. I don't know how you would know my job when you don't even have it. That's crazy. Y'all got what I'm saying? And what I'm telling you, it makes sense. The man was a Roman citizen. He appealed to go see Caesar. He told him when they were judging him, he said, you can't do that, man. He said, I'm a Roman citizen. Cuff, Euchanan, and Jacob would have never told him they were no Roman citizen. He told them guys to stay in Jerusalem until they be endued with power from on high. When everybody else was exiled, everybody went out, the Charlotte king stayed in Jerusalem. I just know my God sent me. I know you and your God are going to be in trouble later. See, that's how he said, henceforth we know the ruach of error. And that's why a lot of times people put themselves in error because they start running all over the place assuming they're going to save somebody. All you're going to do is make a mess. All they had to do is start moving around. So you know what, this thing for everybody. I'm finna start running out here and just preaching to anybody I run up on. Did he tell you that? That's all I'm trying to tell you. Why they ain't tell him, say, listen, to make it easy on you, it's 12 of us, one of you. How about 6 of us or go over there with him, help him out? What they told him? You keep doing what he told you to do with them, and we're going to keep doing what he told us with him. That's why I'm be trying to hook up with these people. I know my folks be trying to don't try to put me in the Bible. Please stop it. Please stop. That's why I told y'all. This is what I try to tell you all the time. I know y'all don't be, in your mind, y'all got this something going and working. Well, Tony Smith hook up with these people. You're an idiot, okay? First of all, I have no time to hook with these people. I'm too busy working. They ain't got time to hook up with me if they're doing something. That's why I'm trying to tell you. I know you ain't doing that because you killing time with me. Why are you trying to save me? You need to be trying to save them folk who need saving. Do the work. I ain't right here trying to save no preacher. I'm killing time with these people. Listen, he said at the bottom, when I hit him out, it ain't going to come back void. Everybody is intended to get, going to get it. Everybody intend to get it, going to get it. For me to do what everybody are doing, you want to go on the street corner and preach, go out there and do it. He ain't with you. All you going to do is mess them people up. Because he never told you to do it. Y'all got it? Yes, sir. Let me see. So this is what I wanted y'all to kind of sit back, to kind of consider that when you're doing things, that we want to make sure that we kind of interline things to know. We don't know everything, but we're trying to make sure we got an understanding to what we do have. Once we got the understanding to what we do possess, then we can kind of matriculate over into other areas. What happens sometimes, people trying to handle too much at one time. You could take on too much at one time. Because people in their mind will start seeing and thinking, man, there's so many folk need to be saved, you need to be going. And I assure you, you ain't thought no more about them people than he have. That's the problem I got with folk. Everybody think about these folk. Your problem is, I assure you can't think no more than he does. Don't y'all think he know? Who can't got you? What street corner pulled you? Let me guess. You were flipping through YouTube. And it was just like he Mashiached it. Then nobody come get you out no street corner. How you got reached? What let me guess what? It was the mailers we sent out. That's what it was with the mailers. You opened up, you said, Lordy D. George Gardy, I'm going. He put you into contact with people, and you had conversation, and they said, you ought to check out where I'm here, so listen to where I'm at. So how he reach you, he can't get nobody else. Unless I go on the corner. Unless you break out me and start running out him preaching on the corner. This is your stupidity. The man has an order, because you're dealing with people. This is a sensitive area when you start dealing with people and you start dealing with the bar. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll give people too much and you'll wind up killing them versus helping them. And that's what people mess up all the time. I know what I be doing as I preaching. He do too. That's why you're not. That's the very reason you're not. I know what I be doing right off the jump. He said, exactly. That's why I got you right where you at. Because you want to be affected. You could be affected if you got one or two, then you do a whole bunch of people just going in error. If it come the way it's supposed to come, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. See, a lot of people don't have the patience, the time, and really want to be really taught. People want to get something quick. Man, I'm trying to get the Holy Ghost, man, so I can go, so I can run on the street and mess somebody up. Set your behind down somewhere. And I'll just sit down, because, people, this is critical. It's too much bad information out here, too many people hurting. Just because you know some words, that ain't all the thing. Listen, Charles, I already know 5 with understanding, 10,000 with no understanding. Yeah. You can get a whole bunch of words. That ain't going to make you affected because you know a bunch of words. Yeah. It's things you got to understand how things work. Those people knew words. Those people knew practices and still got it wrong. Yeah. So you think just knowing it is enough? So he tried to, there's a care you have to have when you're doing this job too. It's really a care you got to have, because you got to be understanding too. You got to know how to be a stickler for, and you got to be able to have the compassion with people to understand. Like he said, we don't have a right going on that can't. What was again? That's right. They can't relate. Basically, they can't relate. See, a lot of times you run deal with people, you can't relate. You can't relate. Being able to relate. A lot of people, you know what they do? A lot of people buy me. They say, I can dig smell. I understand where he's coming from. A lot of people, they do it. It's people that they pick up and they say, you know what? That's my man right there. That's my man. That's my man right there. My man, he keep it real. See, it reaches a certain group of people. It ain't for everybody. That's why I tell you, it ain't for everybody. Why am I trying to force myself on people? See, you could be my pastor if you ain't going to believe it. You ain't going to believe it. I ain't even trying to be your pastor. See that? Because you want me to change up something for you. I can't change for you. That's right. You got to make changes. My changes I make got to be for all of him. It ain't for you. That's right. But people want me to shake me out. They're like, if Smith will just come on, if Smith will start teaching, if you just come on and shut up. Or keep flipping through YouTube till you find that one that fits you. I ain't saying the other person wrong. It's just everything don't fit everybody. Listen, both of them had the same teaching. What was he teaching? You don't have to get the Ruach HaKodesh Shaul. Was he teaching? Let me get the other 12 would teach you got to get the Ruach HaKodesh. He preaching you don't have to get it. Same thing. They had to be teaching the same thing. One teaching, Yahushua, the 12 teaching, he got on the third day. Shaul teaching, he got up sometime late on in the week. Same thing they teaching, yet they had different abilities and style to reach a different group of people. That's when you affected. He knew, when I put these guys out here, he know, you don't fit it. See, a lot of people had a problem with Shaul. Say it right quick. Say that the 23rd chapter. Might be 22. Acts of the Charlotte King. Listen.
And Shaul, looking upon the council, said, unashamed, Akim, I have conversed with all two conscious before Elohim until this present yom.
He said up until now. Listen what happened.
And the Rosh Kohan and Ananias among them that stood by him to strike him on the paw.
Y'all hear that? It's really an insult. Because I brought you in front of the council and question you, don't try to tell me how righteous you is, okay? I'll slap you in your mouth. He done told him, he said, listen, he's telling all these people, listen, I've been living right even up until that very time. So it look like, really, I've been brought here on false pretenses. See, it's what he said, what he didn't say, he did say. If I'm sitting in front of the court and I'm sitting here saying, first of all, I ain't done nothing wrong. I'm saying whoever arrested me and brought these charges is a liar. And these charges are false that have been brought up against me because I hadn't done nothing. So the Rosh Kohan and told him to slap that joker dead in their mouth. Come on.
Then Shaul said to him,
What he told him?
Elohim shall strike thee, thou whited wall.
What mean you cover up? You just did that to cover up. That's what he just told him. Listen what happened.
For sittest thou to shaffer me,
You're going to sit down to judge me
according to the Torah,
according to the Torah.
and contrary to the Torah, amar me to be struck.
Woo, you hear that? He said, first of all, you're going to try to judge me according to the Torah. You just did contrary to the Torah by commanding me to be struck in my mouth. What happened?
And they that stood by said, dost thou revile the Rosh Kohan of Elohim?
They had a problem with what he just did. Because I don't know, you know what? You really are guilty now. Because just like you just cut him down talking about what he just did, the law just told you, you ain't supposed to revile the ruler of your people. That man ruled over us. You should have never said that to him. So this stuff y'all don't know, but you get the end where you don't have to worry about it. Because you been taught you don't know. See that stuff there? They don't play that stuff. Let's see what he said. Let's say I got authority from Yahuwah, and I'm supposed to go before Guin, the people, Yasharal, and all them, and I'm supposed to correct them. What he told them?
And Shaul said,
What did he say?
I knew not, Akim, that he is the Rosh Kohan.
He said, hold on for a minute. He said, I didn't even know he said, I didn't even know that. Why?
For it is Katab,
Because it's written.
thou shalt not speak Rosha of the Shar of thy own.
He said, listen, he just told him, man, you covering up. He said, that was evil for me to say that. He said, I didn't know that man was the ruler. He said, I'd have never said it. He said, because the Katab said that. The writing said I ain't supposed to say that. So this stuff y'all said, do, you ain't supposed to do it, but you ain't going to worry about it. Don't worry about it. He realized, he just told him, man, you a cover up. And he just looked at it. He said, I shouldn't have said that. He said, I shouldn't have said it. He let it, because now, you know what the people stand by who were looking at? Did the Rosh Kohan tell him this? The people stand by watching him. The people stand by watching him. You couldn't be living right. Because that's the Rosh Kohan. He the head nigga in charge. Ain't no way in the world you supposed to say no stuff out your mouth like that. See how they work? And what he let them know? They got to clean this up quick. That's why he been ineffective. You know, there's some people never forgive him for that. When he come out of the middle, start putting that thing down and tell them how that thing work, how that thing happen. Not that hypocrite down. Not him. That joker, I want him to come preach something to me. I'm going to cut that joker down. See, y'all don't realize why he put people in positions. You don't realize how all that really worked to an end. See, how our people were in past time, we unforgiving except to ourselves. If I do something wrong, immediately I want forgiveness. You do something wrong, it's going to take a minute. It's really going to be hard to look at you from now on. That's how it is. See, and things happen that reason for a way. How's someone get him to go to the Goyim? The Goyim ain't going to hold that against him. They're in a learning process. They're not going to hold this against him. But a Yehudi? Oh, no, we don't work like that. We'll never forgive you. That's a direct violation. And that's what they're going to hold to. They won't ever see themselves. They'll just see your contrariness. 23rd chapter 1. We're just looking at patterns where you can kind of see how things work. Because a lot of things, people just, it works for a reason. That works for a reason. You just tore your pants with them. We don't, listen, man, y'all surrounded unforgiving. We're relentless. We don't forgive. No, we don't forgive. Let's see the 23 and 1. Listen. That was 23, 22 and 1. Listen. When you get it.
Akeem, Anashim, Akeem, and Abot, Shama ye the account which I now give unto you. And when they Shama that he spoke to them in the Abri tongue, they kept the more silent.
Listen what they said. Y'all hear what they said? So when he was talking, what were they doing? Hold on for a minute. When he was talking at first, what were they doing? They were still talking. First of all, why am I listening to you? You're a Roman. You're a Roman citizen. What you gonna talk to me about? You ain't gonna believe it. Folk wanna know why I don't shut up. Why don't you shut up and let me talk? I can't listen to a Roman citizen. You spoke Abri, I keep silent. Y'all heard? Hold on. Is this not Bible? That's what they just looked at. Once he spoke in the language, guess what they did?
Kept the more silent.
They said, hold on. That's our language. So you see where the effect come in with them listening? That's why they were listening to Covenant. He's speaking my language. If you talking to me in Roman, what make you think I'm listening? I'm not paying you no attention. You're a Roman. Who else going to speak Roman? Who's going to speak Roman? Wow. I'm Yehudi from Jerusalem. Why would I be listening to you? This is why you'll be ineffective dealing with people like this. Listen.
And he said,
I can't imagine. That should have got it. Listen.
I am a Yehudi.
I'm a who?
Yehudi.
Tell them what happened.
Born at Tarsus in Cilicia,
What is that?
but brought up in this city at the regal of Gamaliel.
You know why he got to display and let them know where he come from? Because I ain't stupid. I know what I heard you just say. You say you was a Yehudi. How you speak in Latin? He had to explain himself. First of all, I'll tell you where I was born at. But then I can also tell you something else. I was taught at the feet of Gamaliel because he's well respected, because he's a doctor of the Torah. So I got to justify myself before you. Did Covenant, find what Covenant sat and told them where they were brought up at. They had to deal with that when they went to people. People already knew where they came from. People know their regions. This man here born in a city that's of the Romans. So why am I going to be listening? And people can look at it. This is how things were set. So you're trying to tear down walls that divided up. But you got to understand that's culturally how you done things. When you put people in project deal with who? People in the project. Don't fuck this because we speak the same language. We right here together. So I'm gonna be more apt to listen to somebody where? From the projects. Than somebody coming outside trying to come in and trying to tell me about education, trying to tell me, man, who you talking to? You from around here? You finna lose it. They'll jump on you and attack you if you're not from around there. Nobody don't know you. You ain't with nobody. And you're going to try to come. What you think happened to God? I mean, what you think happened to him? Said that 14, Acts of the Charlotte King, said that the 14th chapter. Said that 14 and about 18, 19. Let me say about 19. So 14 and 18. Listen.
Yeah, 19.
We're at 19. We'll go
Yes,
up.
sir. And speaking these things, they scarce restrained the arm from sacrificing to them.
This was him. They call one Mercury, the other one Jupiter. That's amazing. You got planets like that. So these folks start correlating them with stuff up now. These are all Greek titles. That's what they did. They heard one. They called him. They said he was the chief speaker. He was the Russian speaker. So they equated them with the planets. This is what happened. He said when they heard what Shaul just told them, he said, man, they couldn't keep the people. Couldn't hardly stop the people from sacrificing to him. What happened?
Now there came thither certain Yahudim from Antioch and Iconium, and persuading the multitude, and Abban Shaul drew
Just
him
stone
out.
him. What happened?
Drew him out of the city, thinking him to be moot.
So look at that. That's how quick these folks move on you. Man, you a different and you in here trying to talk, they're trying to tell us something. These folks will kill you. Or these the people want to go to? Yahushua was one of them, they killed him. People don't really realize how, listen, now we have a little liberty that I'm able to speak and say certain things. These people hadn't came to the effect to shut me down, killing me, or taking me out. But make no mistake, this time won't continue forever. Because once you become effective and you start to reach people at the core part of them to really get them to see what's the key component they need to actually walk in the liberties that he's given us, they're going to shut us down. There's going to be a disbursement, and it's going to be necessary. They're allowing people to go, it's enough aggravation, enough stuff out here that's overwhelming people to where you're not really being known. They learn how to shadow block. It's a lot of things. Just like Yahushua, all you do is you put words out on people. Don't y'all know they went and they told the people that Shaul was from Mizraim?
Mm-hmm.
They were going to kill him before they threw him out. They told him that he was from Mizraim. That man not from Mizraim. He told the people, where y'all get this stuff? I'm from Tarsus. I was taught at the foot of Gamaliel, the doctor of the Torah. Because people look at when you become effective, we got to block you. Those people did that on their own. How did they do that? Persuade them. How did Yahushua get up on the tube? Persuasion. Persuasion. That's why he told you, you did run well. Who did hinder you? You ain't going to believe what he told you there. This persuasion didn't come from him that called you. See what I'm saying? That's how these people work. They're going to persuade, they persuade the people against me. Ain't raped, ain't took none of their kids, ain't took none from these folks, do more helping, did more caring for them, keeping them going, wiping tears and everything, and keeping stuff together, and folks will hate me to death. They hate me to death. They know it, hate me to death. I ain't took nothing from nobody. And I took your junk. At the end of the day, hold a stand and try to help the people. They try to force, well, somebody did this, somebody did. They're in the place to get wellness. Ain't nobody here did nothing wrong. I done justified and told them, oh, you okay, don't worry about it. That's a lie. What am I supposed to do? If I put everybody out, who am I saved? Somebody got to be saved. In other people's opinion, they need to be gone too. That's why you ain't the person to shop it. That's why he made that decision. I don't know why. See, folks that want you put out because of something, Yahuwah make them decisions. I don't make no decision. That means that I override him. People so dumb. That's why he told, who you think you fighting? I can't do nothing. If I can override him and I can do different to him and I can control him, why you serving him? You need to serve me. You need to pray with my name. But people just ignorant. They get to go in their feeling. They ain't got enough common sense to realize who you think you fighting. All I'm trying to do is get people to sit down and let them do what he told them. Let's get an understanding. When you look at these people, you don't realize how these people work and how they deal. When you're trying to go to these people and folk, run out here, I'm going to go to these people, you don't get yourself killed, what you going to do? You can't run up on everybody. It's not for, I get tape, email. Man, I got email folk. You think I read that stuff? Once I start that stuff, delete. I don't read that stuff. I be telling folks, because I perceive he ain't sent you. You ain't get me. If something come my way, he know how I operate. Just like he know how they operate. Why you think he ain't sent Shaul to them? Why you think they ain't shaking hands and say, keep going to them? Them jokers already done drug you out one time to kill you. They not who you need to be dealing with. I need to move you over here. You don't work. It's some people, don't fire them, just put them in a different department. You're just not effective there. It's not me, you're not effective. You're just not effective here. I need to put you over here. Y'all got it? When people start to learn that and wait their time, everything play out. When you start thinking you're supposed to be to everybody going, he done told them to go all through, he told them to go in through all what he told them to go in. All day long and do what? And preach. Why didn't they do it? They were sent to the lost sheep. Wherever they at, that's who I'm teaching. Well, ain't a lost sheep. Somebody come talk to you later. Let me keep moving. Somebody gonna pick you up later. That's what happens. Somebody get with you. Somebody gonna get with you. You hear that sometimes they tell folks, somebody's gonna have to get with you. He already got it set up. Y'all got it set. That's the administration, how you got it set up. When people start to understand that, then you kind of walk through this thing with a little fuller understanding. Versus you trying to know your mind thinking everybody, just everybody. At the end of the day, this is how things work. When he teaches who he was sent to, and they teach who they were sent to, when they come together, the message is still the same. Sometimes the messenger is just not the effective person to deal with them. Y'all got what I'm saying? But the message is still the same. If you put them down and compare the information, it's the same information. It's just he's more effective here, they're more effective here. At the end of the day, that's why he told you, other sheep I have, all my sheep ain't in one place. He said, I got to be able to send different people to get them because those sheep ain't going to hear everybody. So I got different rods that I'm sending to gather those sheep. He said then in that day, it's going to be one fold and when it comes, everybody going to have the same information. Because the whole information we're supposed to be giving supposed to be about him. What this is him? How I give up these folks? These folks so busy trying to labor, tired of do. We got some more work going on right now. We'll be hitting y'all with some stuff. We'll be hitting y'all with some stuff on now. Knowledge. We got to get better. Everybody got to get better. Take our time, walk this thing through, make sure we got it right. Make sure your law be in the right place. You know what I'm talking about? Here and here. Because you got to get convicted in the inner part. Here we take the rest to consider. And it's got to go down here, and it's got to give you a conviction here. No conviction here is because of how you registering here. So you keep meditating, eventually it'll pierce and work through that stony heart. The stony heart is the heart that allows me to keep doing it. It's wrong, but I keep doing it. You're wrong, it's wrong. You think about a literal rock heart, but he gave it because that's what you know, a rock. So it's hard to break through to penetrate it. But he told you, my word do that. How? Because a man keep thinking on it. He keep meditating. It's working on it. It's weighing on it. Now he's looking at, I ain't feeling right. Guess what happened? I just broke through that stony heart. That mindset you had, that ability where you repel it. You know it wrong here, but you still do it anyway. It's a repellent that you have. So he keeps allowing you to tell you to do this then. Just meditate on it. It's some medication. It won't get it. As you keep taking it, you'll start progressing and realize you start getting better. You ever had that? Take for 14 days. Take it for 14 days. Man, I took one, man, that thing ain't doing nothing. Take it tomorrow. Keep taking it. By day 10, start noting about day 8, you start noticing a little different. They're going to get better. Keep taking the medication. Because eventually it's going to break through what you're trying to fight. If it's congestion or whatever you're doing, a lot of times that's what got us. What you think keep you from taking in the ball? Congestion. You ever got, everybody had it is hard, like you had the money. How many deep breaths could you take? How many of you could do? None. So think about he done told you to ingest the word. And he had ammonia. I don't like the new because it been out. It's just ammonia. He had ammonia. Huh? Not ammonia, but he had ammonia. You got what I'm saying? So with ammonia he couldn't do that. Ammonia had, how could you breathe with ammonia? See that? I said, Lee, take the word and it can help you. How much help you getting? So now we need to expel some things. You got that? And that's the same thing we look at with our life today. There are things we can take on, whether relationships or commitments or other things we kind of tend to hold to and get. It'll keep you from ingesting. It'll keep you from ingesting. And that's what we're starting to try to learn about ourselves. Our fight ain't so much against people and system as much as it is about ourselves. Because these people and system that we hate that rule over us, it's because you gave them that authority. How did Shamshun get caught? They tricked him. Let me see. You keep asking me something, and every time you ask me, and I tell you, you do that same thing to me, and you keep saying they upon me. I ain't figured out what you're doing yet. Why if I told you, if I go to sleep, if you tie the locks of my hair together, I'll be like any other man. And I go to sleep and look, and you wake me up. Wake up, the Philistine upon you, and there's stuff in my hair. What I put together? Oh, she don't mean nothing about it. It's just a game. I tell you, when I lay down, if you take some dried cords of a particular plant, and if I be tired with them, I can't break them. I'll be like any other man. And I go to sleep, and I wake up, and I'm wound up, and you waking me up. Wake up, Shamshun, the Philistines upon you. What have I put together? What have I put together? You're using this against me. Everything I'm telling you, you're using against me. So how about this? I'm going to go up to Jerusalem. I'm going to be delivered in the enemy hand, and they're going to crucify me. What am I doing? I'm giving myself up. I'm giving myself up. Then I'm going to go up here. If you deliver me over, I could be crucified. I told you what to do. Because that was an intent. That was an intent. I told you. Why would I tell you that? That I'm going to go out there and be betrayed. You ain't going to believe who was down. Yehuda Iscariot. And you know what they told us when they told us his name? The one that betrayed him. That's why he could conspire and do what he did. Because he just told her what's going to happen. When he go to Jerusalem, if we conspire against him, he could be and deliver him over. Then we can crucify him. And we'll make him as any other man. So the quote out as Joseph said, that which you intended for Rosham, he intended for Matub. That's good. Appreciate Mr. Hill.